full force. Are you kidding me?
It takes minutes to read it, more to think of replies. She'll wait days, but really she'll just do it. Follow that Nike motto and I'll just keep giving blue ticks.
I've been asking when you freak, girl, blowing up your feet. You must be a bookworm, leave me on read. I can see that blue tick, see that blue tick. I can see that blue tick.
Hey, I just saw your messages. Sorry, I've been so busy.
Yo, what's up? It's Mr. Young.
Hey, I've been asking when you freak, girl, blowing up your feet. You must be a bookworm, leave me on read. What's
Check
up,
it
bro?
out. We got an
Hey, it's Mr.
exclusive for you, man. We just played you like 15 seconds of the world premiere. Okay, when is the full track dropping? I know the track is out already, but what about the video?
All right, man. What you guys just heard is actually my latest single,
Yeah.
Blue Tick. So I go by the rapper name Foreign.
Hey,
Obviously,
hold on.
you guys know
Hold
me
on.
as
Bro,
Foreign.
you haven't in the
wrestling
building
fan.
yet, bro. You haven't in the building. You need to announce.
Oh, yeah. Okay, wait. And it's Foreign in the building. What up?
Yes.
Okay, guys, please, for all you younger listeners out there, please start making TikTok challenges because I don't know shit about it. So yeah, if you want to put the song out, because right now it's already streaming on Spotify and iTunes.
Mhm.
But like, as you were asking and alluding to,
Yeah.
the music video, which you just seen a snippet of,
That's right.
is premiering tonight,
Woo.
Friday, 8 p.m. on YouTube.
Oh shit. Okay, so we're definitely gonna share the links on our Kick to the Gut page, on your personal page as well.
Yeah.
But bro, talking about TikTok, I'm thinking like let's call it like something like the blue tick challenge, you know? Because it's called blue tick, right?
Right.
The blue tick challenge.
Yeah.
Now we just need ideas on what you can do, you know? Like I don't
Yeah. We can do the blue tick. Hey, they
Hey,
can do
wait,
that,
hey.
but that is like so 2016.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we have to figure that shit out.
that might be a bit dated. So anyway, I'm
Yeah.
excited, bro. Congratulations on the new song, the video and everything. It sounds
Thank you.
what do the young kids call it? It sounds lit. It sounds fire.
Fire.
Happening,
It's
bro.
fire.
Happening. My generation, happening, bro. Power. That song.
I mean, it's like it's power lah, bro. Power 98. Hey,
Ah.
Power 98.
Random link to my radio station, but okay. Anyway,
It's a hint to get on your radio station. Oh no, tie.
that one you got to talk to our music director. But okay,
Yes,
you
hopefully.
came here to hear about wrestling, and we're definitely going to get into so many things today. But before we do anything, let's talk about how this week's episode is brought to you by Kick Out. Whoosh. The hottest new fitness workout designed for pro wrestling fans like you and I. It's by Grapple Max, Singapore's largest pro wrestling gym, of course. It's a 1-hour class, 100% no contact, but it's super, super fun. Foreign, you've gone to a few classes. Tell us what we can expect.
Yes, for those of you who are listening in, who have been long-time fans, you know that I train pretty regularly at what do you call it? So my mind just went blank because I'm thinking about blue tick right now. But pretty regularly at Grapple Banks, right? As I've always mentioned, if you are a wrestling fan,
That's
you
right.
have definitely dreamt and fantasized of being in the ring.
Mhm.
Imagine how it feels like to take the ropes. Maybe some of you not really want to take bumps, lah. But no worries, there's no contact. You can just have some fun, do some HIIT, and be around the ropes, use some of the ring elements. It is a great workout by the end of the 45 minutes and to an hour. Ooh, you felt like you had like a Iron Man match, bro.
And here's the thing, a lot of these workouts, the wrestlers themselves, they do to train for their matches and stuff like that, especially with stuff in the ring, climbing the turnbuckle and everything. Hey, maybe you can throw up your favorite pose on the top turnbuckle as well, or whatever. What's your favorite pose?
I've got to admit, man, I've done a couple of legend killer poses. So every time I've done my workout. Yeah, so definitely, man. And it's a very, very, very great, super fun atmosphere. You have great people around there, great coaches as well. You got to give a shout out to all the people from Grapple Max. So it's a great time at the gym.
And that's the thing, right? You hit it right on the head. Great community, great coaches. Because, sometimes you go to certain places, you train, like everyone looks so serious or everyone looks so unfriendly. No, the guys over at Grapple Max, the guys and gals, they are the nicest people. And, I've taken a class or two from Greg as well, and I can attest that the guy knows what he's talking about. He'll take care of you. And, Dave too has coached us. So, yeah, I mean, It's just going to be a fun time. And if you go, it's your first time, right? Because this is for first-time Grapple Max customers only. Use our promo code KTTG100 because we're getting close to our 100th episode. So the promo code KTTG100. Use that promo code on checkout. You get 20% off a single session. Usual price, $35. But we're going to cut it down for you with that promo code. So go check out Kick Out. Let me give you the website, grappleMax.punchpass.com.
Yeah, bro. And as you alluded to as well, 2 more episodes until our 100th episode. This is actually our longest season because we usually end every 30 episode cycle. Yep. I want to push a bit more, 10 more episodes since you're almost reached the big 1 century. So yeah, it's been a great time, man. We've just passed by, like I said last week, 2 years of Kick to the Gut. So it's going to be a great time looking down memory lane of all our previous episodes, huh?
Bro,
awesome, right?
For sure. As I actually enjoy my pre-100th episode ice cream. My wife actually was very nice right before we started doing the show, right? She brought in some black sesame gelato. Wow. So sure.
Wow.
Black sesame gelato.
I go ask my non-existent wife. Okay, never mind. I'll get my own drink myself later. Okay.
Soon enough, bro. Oh wait, let's talk about wrestling right now, and let's start from the weekend, or most accurately on Monday morning when NXT TakeOver 31 happened. And the interesting thing is, before the event itself, they announced Capital Wrestling Center. Okay.
What do you know about that, bro?
Bro, I literally knew zero about it until I saw the Instagram post. Then they, explained what is Capital Wrestling Center, and apparently it is the company before the WWF or something like that. Yeah.
So it's like Vince's dad or Vince's grandfather's company before, when it was still like a territory in the Northeast in New York. It was called Capital Wrestling Federation. Championship? What is that?
I don't know. I didn't read too much into it, TLDR. but
too long didn't read, yeah.
Do you think it's cool that they've brought this like as a throwback? Because I don't know if too many fans nowadays would even know about this. This is very, very like internal, it's like a very smart thing.
I think it's really, really smart of WWE because they know that the NXT fans are like the hardcore fans, right? Yeah. Even if they're a newer generation of fans, they will be more perceptive to traditions. So I was quite supportive every time they introduce things like NXT in your house, Great American Bash. They do all these throwbacks from previous pay-per-views, and I think this is a great element that they're bringing, because not only do they give a nod to the past, right?
Yeah.
But bro, you look at the actual thing, right? It's kind of like a mini Thunderdome, but it has that gritty NXT edge. It feels like a future as well.
Yes. Actually, you know what? A little part of me actually likes it a little bit more than Thunderdome, because it has the cage in front of the plexiglass makes the plexiglass not so lame. I'm sorry, the plexiglass was a bit lame, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But the fence in front of it makes it look badass now. And they have the Thunderdome style LED panels with the fans, which is a great setup. But I believe they only have it in half the place, because sometimes when the camera angle turns the other way, it's all black. There's nothing there. So they need to watch the angles now.
Yeah. All right, but I really like the added element of still having a bit of a live crowd.
Yeah.
People in attendance. I think still the wrestling trainees, but I think a bit of like the families and friends. That authentic thing, like you can't replicate purely with the Thunderdome atmosphere, because as you all know, the Thunderdome can in crowds, right?
Which I find like, oh my gosh, so why don't they use this for Thunderdome? Then have like literally VIP front row area with real people, so you can have the piped in sounds, yes, but you can also have some live element, because I really enjoyed the NXT TakeOver vibe, because there was the live element, but there was also some piped in music sounds, the reactions that they want lah. So the boos and the cheers according to whatever their storyline is.
I mean, of course, NXT is famous for their crowds, right? All their crowd interactions and their chants. Do you think that watching this particular takeover, did it help to bring back a bit of that atmosphere that's been missing?
Bro, 100%. Maybe the last takeover, do you remember takeover 30? We were like, it was meh. I mean, the wrestling was good, but the atmosphere wasn't there. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that the crowd is such a such an important part of every NXT takeover because they're just wild, they're crazy, right? It's almost like it was an ECW arena match event with no ECW fans. I mean, it would be just boring, you know?
Yeah, but the thing about ECW is like it gives us this very grimy, very dirty, very like as they always call it, bingo hall, right?
Yes.
But NXT feels sleek, gritty, but sleek. It's like it's really like the future, bro. It's the future, bro.
It's like a less dirty version of ECW, a cool, cleaned up, futuristic, but grimy, gritty version. So anyway, I think we've fanboyed all over the what's that? Capital Wrestling Center a little bit too much. So okay, let me get this straight though. It is essentially the PC lah, but they've pimped it out, right? It's still the PC.
Yeah, so they've gutted it out. If you realize, right, bro, one good thing that they took out, right, which to me I've always found very distracting about the PC was the big ass fans.
I
the
knew
big
it.
ass fans were taken out. It makes it look so cheap.
Yeah, it
so
does.
that
it
was
does.
taken out, and then now it purely looks like a black room. Like a black box.
Yeah.
Those kind of like very intimate theater settings. And I mean, wrestling is theater anyway. So it's like, I think it's perfect, man. So I'm digging it, definitely.
It looks like a proper place to hold a TV taping. And I mean, okay, we have to give them credit because, the whole performance center thing was a last minute deal, right? It was not as if they knew months and months in advance. So this is probably something they've worked on for quite a few months already. How can we make this thing better? Then they did Thunderdome. They're like, okay, can we borrow some of the freaking panels to use for NXT? Yeah. So kudos to them, man. They did it.
We gotta give WWE credit because as like you said, they really struggled through the summer months. To get the fans, to keep the shows going through COVID. But I think they've really retooled and borrowed a lot of elements from what works from other associations like NBA, NFL football, whatever it is, and they've added their own spin to it. So now, right, bro, we could have gotten sick of Thunderdome if it was every single show Thunderdome, including NXT. But since they gave NXT such a great identity, now it's back to its unique setting already. Now I think NXT is unique.
Yes.
So if only, bro, I mean, this is a bit nitpicking lah, but if only imagine Thunderdome was only for Raw, and NXT now has its own thing as well.
Right.
It will still create a different vibe. So I don't know.
I was about to say that, like, the fact that Thunderdome is used for Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-views is a bit much already to me. So I don't know. I don't know how they can tweak it. The color scheme is different, but the setting is exactly the same. So, I mean, but we are really just nitpicking. You're right. It's like they're doing the best they can already. So let them do what they are doing. So now that NXT has its own arena, own style and everything, hey, they're making the best of a shitty situation. And to be fair, now that I watch AEW, it's like,
does it feel like second rate now or what?
a bit like NXT and Thunderdome have this super futuristic thing that quote unquote is keeping everybody safe. Meanwhile, AEW, you see pockets of fans there. I'm like, social distancing or not? Are you sure this is safe?
Oh well, we shall see. In the future whether they will change tag because, as you know, right, in October the Thunderdome's lease runs out. At that Amway Center.
Well, to be fair, I'm sure they will extend it because it's not like the Amway Center is going to have other people come in to do things. They're not what. Nobody else is hosting events. Yeah.
There are memos running around. As usual, Foreign, he always checks the dirt sheets.
The dirt sheets.
Yes, the dirt sheets. And WWE has actually already given their talents a heads up that they might be have to get prepared to start traveling again.
How?
So I don't know what this means. I do not know whether that means that they're opening up shows in different arenas, in different states going forward. But obviously the pandemic situation in the US hasn't changed. So I have no idea what does that mean. Does that mean like they've built up dedicated places on the East Coast, West Coast? We never know.
Actually, yeah. Okay, I don't think it is a thing where they're going to let crowds in and they're going to perform in different arenas. That would make no sense and it would be highly irresponsible. The fans would just shit all over that, right? I think what you just said makes sense in that maybe they have a residency in the Amway Center. Then next, they're going to have a residency in whatever arena and hold it for 2 months there. And then, another 3 months in some other place. So that might make sense. Or for all you know,
It's
they're
like
just going back to the Capital Wrestling Center and do everything there.
It's like a touring circus, you know.
Yeah.
The Lion King showing in the MBS for the next 3 months. And
Yeah,
after that,
yeah.
going to you. You never know.
Exactly. And maybe they've worked it out in a way such that they know how to bring the panels everywhere they go already. So you know what I mean? So it's just now a part of their new setup. So maybe like the entire week they could do Raw and SmackDown and a pay-per-view in one town, and then move to another town, do Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-view, you know, or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it bodes well. Like I said, almost 70% of watching wrestling is really in the presentation.
Correct.
Like there's this quote that I read from Adam Blampede. I have no idea. That Adam from What Culture, that guy.
Oh, okay.
He said like the best parts about wrestling sometimes it's not really the wrestling itself. It's everything surrounding it.
Yes.
So this is actually one of the reasons. Yeah, one of the things that I have to agree. Presentation makes a huge part of whether I enjoy watching it or not.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why when they were doing the PC, WrestleMania, it was like, it just didn't have the feel of it. Like I said, we can't 100% fault them for it because, given the situation, circumstances. Anyway, so, okay, into the new NXT arena, and let's talk about...
Mr. Young, you just froze.
Oh, okay. I see you frozen on my screen right now. It's probably just a little bit of lag on our side here. There you go. We're back. We're moving.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. So
on my side, you froze. So did I freeze on your
side? Yeah, you did essentially. So somewhere along the way, the internet connection just went. But let's talk about NXT TakeOver 31 now, and we kicked off with the Cruiserweight Championship. I realize, they've had the Cruiserweight Championship for a while, but there aren't a lot of cruiserweights on NXT.
You're right.
Technically there are, but they are not competing in the Cruiserweight division in this thing, because I feel like Swerve and Escobar have been fighting each other for a very long time. Like only those two.
It's like the same revolving cast of characters. I mean, Drake Maverick is out of the Cruiserweight title picture. Now he's with Killian Dane, all right, in a tag team. But I personally like the fact that the Cruiserweight is in NXT. Don't you think so? Because Cruiserweight has always been about work rate, technical, flair, high flying.
Is 205 Live still a show? I don't
even know. It still exists, bro. It's network only. You know that main event is still happening, right?
Really? Okay, so I did not know. I thought they just canceled those shows due to the pandemic. But okay. Terrible. Yeah, I should go and watch 205. Okay, so what do you think of the match? I mean, the rest of El Legado del Fantasma interfered as we thought, but Swerve had a bit of help from a fella I'm not very familiar with. Ashanti Adonis.
Oh yeah, that black dude, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously Adonis is such a black name, but
But Ashanti though, I'm thinking of that singer Ashanti.
It's a girl, right?
Yeah, I used to sing with Ja Rule all the time.
I love that era of music, but anyway, I get what you mean. It's a female name, so I didn't know that they had a male name for it.
Yeah. I have no idea who this guy is. I mean, I think he's been in NXT before, then he's now making his big return. What his relationship with Swerve is, why would he help Swerve? So I guess we'll see the fallout from that on the upcoming episodes of NXT. They better explain it.
I mean, now you were just saying a few minutes earlier that there's not a lot of cast of characters for the Cruiserweight titles. It's good that they're introducing new faces.
Yeah.
My only problem is I really like Swerve, and I really wanted him to win the title because I feel like he deserves that moment. And if he lose, and since he lost, right?
Yeah.
There's nowhere else to go but down for him. Unfortunately.
Right, yeah. Like, they're not going to reignite this feud again, right? Because this feud has gone on for quite a long time. So, I think we'll move on to Ashanti versus Escobar next.
Okay, call him Adonis. Ashanti, call him Adonis.
No, I want to call him Ashanti, bro. Ashanti and Ja Rule.
What's that famous song by Ashanti? What's love?
Got to do.
What's love? Okay, yeah. Is that's Ashanti, right?
Is it really? I can't remember. Oh my god, it feels like forever ago. But I mean, decent match put in by the two. Is just the whole funny ending lah. That's like okay, I see where this is going.
Do you personally enjoy the NXT division right now in NXT? Like
for sure. I mean, we know what to expect from NXT wrestlers. There's a certain level, you know.
The work rate, right?
The work rate is always going to be there. So yeah, it's good stuff. Kushida versus Velveteen Dream, and it was pretty much a clean loss for Velveteen.
Yeah. I enjoyed the Back to the Future throwback, definitely.
Yeah, he came out dressed cosplaying Doc Brown, yes.
Yeah. And finally, Kushida is being treated as a serious wrestler in NXT.
Yeah.
I mean, he started off as a mid-card. I think they wanted to give him a very gradual entry into WWE life. But his aggression, I felt that, you know, he earned that victory over Velveteen Dream. It didn't feel like a stretch that he won.
Yeah.
You know?
It felt like you said, like it's a more aggressive. It was even highlighted in the promo package, like, oh, now I'm unleashed. Or what was the word? I forgot that they used. But there's this term that they keep bringing up on the video, on the commentary, like he's I forget. But anyway, he just came out and straight up screwed him up. It's like Asuka when she first debuted, sort of that treatment.
Yeah. But the thing about my only fear is Kushida is not really a hulking figure.
Yeah,
he's kind of like he's smaller guy. He's more like a Kenta kind of build.
Yeah. So
him being menacing in New Japan, like, fine. The people there are the same weight class and build. But he's trying to be menacing to Bobby Lashley, like, you know, or like even like Dexter Lumis.
Yeah, like doesn't work. Huh?
He has to play it smart. He has to be that Bruce Lee kind of guy where he's small but he can attack you from any angles.
I think his whole gimmick is that, you know, he's a joint manipulator. Like he'll come in and screw up your legs. I mean, your hands, your arms. And that's what he did to Velveteen Dream.
So Kushida versus Pete Dunne in a joint manipulation match?
Yeah, basically a submission match lah. Actually, okay. I like the sounds of that.
That'll be dope.
I'm just happy that they're finally giving him a bit of a push, and we'll see whether the fans get behind this lah. And you know, I mean, the fans from New Japan. He was from New Japan, right? Or was he?
Yeah, he was. My first time watching him was he had a match, I think, on the same Wrestle Kingdom show where Chris Jericho made his debut.
Oh,
I think that was the last time where Kushida was in New Japan. And his entrance was he had a huge, big bobblehead of himself.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
You remember, right?
Yes, now I remember.
He used to be part of a tag team with Alex Shelley called the Time Splitters.
Time Splitters, yeah. Alex Shelley even showed up one episode of NXT just randomly.
To help Kushida.
Yeah, to help Kushida.
So he has definitely a lot of cachet, as they say, among wrestling fans. So we do want him to succeed. He could be the next. I mean, Nakamura is a very bad example because Nakamura now is like that, right?
I was gonna say he could be the next Nakamura, but look where Shinsuke is. You know, running around with Cesaro.
He's still dope, still tag team champions. But I mean, it's like badass like Nakamura in NXT.
But if Nakamura couldn't make it, and Nakamura is taller and more outstanding in terms of like visually and a character. When you see Nakamura, he's weird. He does his thing. He's like, immediately takes your attention. Whereas Kushida, he just looks like a guy who's cosplaying Marty McFly from Back to the Future. I still am not a fan of the gimmick. To be honest, I am not a fan of he's dressing up as Back to the Future. Like, I don't get it.
If he cosplay as him is one thing, but there has to be some sort of backstory to why. Is he a guy lost in time? Okay, that would be cool. I'm a man lost in time. I'm from the 1980s. I do not know. But then there will be interesting. At least something that the fans can latch onto. So in terms of character, I think that's why he went to WWE. WWE hopefully can give him a good character.
Okay, has that ever been explained in New Japan? Or
I do not know enough New Japan to give you the answer. So I think people who listen to the podcast who can educate us.
Yes, please do. Slide into our DMs, kick to the gut on Instagram. But here's the thing, and to go back to that, like I feel like he's come in with this gimmick, right? And NXT expects us to get it because they think that NXT audience, they're smarts, they know the history, blah blah blah, which is great. But also, it's like you kind of need to explain it to people like us, like you
have to educate us. Like not everyone knew about Capital Wrestling.
Correct.
It was a good introduction, but they did explain what it was about, giving them history. This is why I really wish like all the wrestling companies around the world have a working relationship. So imagine WWE can use New Japan footage to talk about Kushida. Then I'll be fucking hyped.
Yeah. Now they can they can only say, oh yeah, he's won whatever title in Japan without being very specific. But yeah, I think it boils down to, why is he dressed up as Marty McFly? Why is he a Back to the Future cosplayer? There needs to be some sort of explanation. If not, he's just like lame.
Do you see him going up to the NXT Championship level, or I think his next step is still the North American title level?
Well, I mean, if you watch this week's NXT, didn't he get in the face of Tommaso Ciampa? So that, I feel like, is a good step towards maybe the North American title. I don't think he's ready for main title yet.
Yeah. But he's another Asian wrestler that I am rooting for. I want him to do well and succeed. And I think a lot of people from New Japan really like his work back then and want him to succeed in NXT lah.
Well, I mean, hopefully, if anybody can, figure out a character for him, it's the folks at NXT lah, like your Road Dogs, your HBKs, and your Triple H's and whatnot. So
I love that the entire match so far, right? We've only talked about Kushida. We didn't once mention about Velveteen Dream.
Because to be honest, Velveteen Dream, character-wise, also is in a bit of a limbo state. Like, he came back, he's scruffier looking, and he's a bad guy.
One other thing about, if you realize the way they are booking him, is I feel he's in a doghouse right now.
Oh, because the whole allegations lah.
I feel he's like Triple H after curtain call. Like, he's just eating shit. He's the guy that's being used to put over other talent.
Yeah.
And it's very sad because there was a time where we all assumed Velveteen Dream is gonna go up to the main roster, be like the biggest star in SmackDown or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Now I think he's taking like 2-3 steps back, and I think WWE trying to keep him like a low profile. But I still believe his talent will shine through and he will eventually succeed.
Yeah, I feel like just give him a few more years, and it's fine for him to be in the doghouse for a few years too. So it will give him.
He's so young.
Yeah, he's super young, and if anything, it gives him time to mature, because that's a very important thing as well, right? Not just skill level, but maturity level. And you take a look at someone like Austin Aries.
Yep.
No, Austin Theory.
I'm like, Theory.
Wrong Austin, bro. Austin Aries. Wait a minute. Austin Theory, who went up to the Raw roster, and apparently he wasn't, quote unquote, ready. So they had to, bring him back down to NXT. So yeah, let's give Velveteen Dream some time.
If you watch the WWE 24 documentary on Drew McIntyre, which aired this week, I just have to say it's a great documentary, very emotional. But one of the most insightful things that I learned from that documentary was the fact that he went for a tryout in the UK for WWE,
right?
In the same batch as Wade Barrett, Sheamus, all of them were in their early 20s. He was like barely 21 at that point in time. But from the age of 15 all the way to 21 for 6 years, right? He was traveling all over the UK scene in Ireland, and he was always pushed as the main eventer. So that means any of the wrestlers that come by that territory, any big name wrestlers will always fight him in the main event.
Right.
Because even though he was a young kid, he was already lanky, he already had that physique. So like he really looked like a young star already.
Yeah.
So when I think I forgot who was the one that Johnny Ace, was the one that straight away watched him after like the first tryout. He was the first one among that batch to straight away be offered a contract. Like, we want you in America. That means he got the attention of Johnny Ace over Sheamus, over Wade Barrett, that whole gang, And when he was in FCW, within like 2 weeks or 2 months, he was straight away called up to the main roster to team up with Dave Taylor.
Right.
And the reason, and then he was too. Again, a lot of people was jealous. A lot of the wrestlers down there was like, they've worked 8-9 years, they're still in developmental. Paul Burchill, he was saying Paul Burchill was the one that pulled him aside and said, there's a reason why everyone here doesn't like you now, because the fact is you're a kid from another country, just came here about 2 months, and now they just call you up to the main roster. So the funny thing, he took it upon himself to tell the agents there that I'm not ready for life on the road on SmackDown, put me back down, and that's how he ended up at FCW.
Okay.
He requested to be taken off the road. So it feels like a lot of comparisons with the Austin Theory situation if you think about it. And if you realize that actually the best thing that can happen to his career, because when he was in FCW, of course he cherished, he flourished. He was in the same batch as the Roman Reigns, as the Seth Rollins, but he was just a bit slightly earlier batch. He was FCW champion in 2009 when, if you remember, WWE had this ECW Superstar Initiative. So in ECW, by this point in time, was basically a developmental brand. Like they're using it to build new stars.
Right.
So Christian was the main champion at ECW, but they had people like Ezekiel Jackson, Kofi Kingston, Sheamus coming through ECW to make their debuts. Drew McIntyre was supposed to go through ECW, but one day Vince McMahon just happened to be in attendance at FCW for taping.
Yeah.
And Drew McIntyre used that opportunity he was doing his match, to stare him down. So he didn't make any qualms like staring down the boss, as he was entering the match, acting like a full-on heel and like just making eyes at the boss, like, yeah, you're me, blah, blah. So actually, that was the reason where he got pulled aside, and he was told like, hey, you are not going up through the main roster through the brand initiative, but you're gonna go down SmackDown instead, and Vince McMahon is personally gonna introduce you.
Yeah, and we all remember
Crazy,
that.
Right?
He was the chosen one.
Yeah. One thing that I didn't know that the documentary told me was that Drew McIntyre, when he was backstage waiting for Vince McMahon to introduce him, wasn't told of what Vince McMahon is gonna say. So Vince McMahon, they just say, okay, Vince McMahon gonna give a couple minutes to introduce you, and you're just gonna come to the stage.
Yeah.
So he heard the chosen one so-called tagline the first time when he was backstage right before it was gonna come out.
Wow.
So can you imagine what's going through his head at that age, like 22, 23? Play cool.
It's either the pressure, like, you play it cool on screen, but the pressure on him must have been outrageous. Either that or his ego must have gone completely wild. I mean, I haven't watched the 24 yet, but I definitely want to watch the documentary. And we were talking about this last night, right? Like, these documentaries are really what draws us to the WWE network. I think we'll never unsubscribe to the WWE network because they keep putting out quality stuff like that, where we want to know more than what we see on Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, NXT. We want to know the history of these guys, both present and older superstars as well. So yeah,
the inner workings of the industry is it's a demographic for that all on itself. There's an audience for that, people like us.
For sure. Okay, so let's get back to NXT TakeOver then. The next match, we got Damian Priest defeating Johnny Gargano to retain the North American Championship. What do you think?
I have my issues with Damian Priest. Like, I don't find him that appealing to me as a fan. Like, I see him like, well, I don't know what's his vibe and all that. Yeah. But I think somebody on commentary made this assessment or comparison of him, and then when that comparison was made, it's like it hit me like a bolt of lightning. I was like, why didn't I make that comparison about Damian Priest?
Okay, what's the comparison?
I can't remember whether it was the commentary, but you correct me if I'm wrong. But someone mentioned that he works and moves and talks and acts like Razor Ramon. Oh, yeah. No, I always felt that. I always felt that though. So that means all this while you've always felt that he had the Razor Ramon comparisons. I don't know if you realize, but at some point he changed his ring gear. He started wearing the vest, which is a very Razor Ramon looking vest. He has the slick hair. So yeah, I've always drawn that comparison. Okay, I've never made that connection. Really? But he does the Razor's Edge too. Yeah, okay, the Razor's Edge maybe could have been a giveaway, but I was just trying to find like how can he appeal to wrestling fans? Yeah. And I realized that if you go down the Razor Ramon route by being like this super chill, smooth, cool guy, then it will work. But the problem is, I think he's more of a trying to be smooth, chill, cool guy than he really is. Yes, that's exactly it. I think Razor Ramon just had it. And let's not forget, the Razor Ramon gimmick was early 90s, maybe late 80s. I can't remember. It's not going to work today. It can't. It's a dated... Machismo. Yeah. Nobody's going to buy machismo. And, I mean, them trying to draw the comparisons, I get it. But at the same time, maybe it doesn't fit. And maybe he needs to tweak it to suit him a little bit more. I feel he's trying too hard to tweak himself to suit the character, then make the character... make a character that suits him as a person. Because I have, I don't know much about him from his indie days as Punishment Martinez. I haven't seen his matches, don't know his gimmick. But I feel like he's not really a party guy. Like the party guy was like how Adam Rose was given the party gimmick. He wasn't party guy.
Yeah.
So they had to retool it somehow lah, because I feel it's not authentic. That's just my opinion.
What about Johnny Gargano and where his character is right now? I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like he's kind of nowhere. They have him like sort of there. He's feuding with Damian Priest yet, but it doesn't feel like he's invested in this feud, or they're investing him in a long-term thing with Damian Priest. It felt like they were just going to put Damian over with Johnny Gargano.
Unfortunately, I feel that they have completely screwed up his heel turn, in my opinion.
Really?
After his blow-off match with Ciampa, right, and he did his initial heel turn, I thought he was gonna be the biggest power couple heel of NXT. They're gonna run roughshod, and they're gonna be like the Triple H and Stephanie of NXT. They tried. They had all those vignettes. They had all the Mia Yim and Keith Lee, kind of all that, right? But it had to be solidified if he was holding a title or he was perceived to be the top guy. But then, right after that, Karrion Kross came in and then overshadowed him.
Correct.
Right after that, like, they had the whole Adam Cole, the Finn Balor, Keith Lee. Like, everyone bypassed him to the point that now he's like, if you want to make a main roster comparison, they have become like the Miz and Maurice of WWE. Of NXT.
Which isn't a bad thing. If you talk about Miz and Maurice, I thought they were very entertaining. But you're right. They're not going to be at World Championship level. They're not contending for the world title or universal title, unfortunately. Yeah, and at this point, he's contending for the North American title. I'm like, but okay, there might be a silver lining at the end of his story here, and we'll get to that in just a bit, because I also want to talk about Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae, and there's another one, Candice LeRae, right? Heel turn. All of a sudden, we think, power couple going to run roughshod over NXT, and she loses quite cleanly, decisively to Io Shirai. I mean, you can't fault them for work rate. They're always going to put on a good show, right?
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think that they are just biding their time before the power couple goes to the main roster. And with the draft happening this weekend, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Garganos on Raw or SmackDown. That's what I think. Because right now, if you think about it, right, what do these two have left to achieve in NXT? I know Candice LeRae, I don't think she's ever won the women's title.
Hasn't won.
Yeah, but I feel like one of those who doesn't need to win it. Or she just won't win it. I think they're
getting up there in age. I mean, they're not old, but they're going to be their mid-30s real soon. Yeah. And I feel if there's a time for them to jump, it's definitely this year. Even though I've read contradicting reports where Gargano keeps saying that he never wants to leave NXT. Like, if he had a choice, NXT is where you want to stay forever.
But see, so if he had a choice, if Vince McMahon's like, I want, or Triple H, like, I want you to go up to Raw and SmackDown to freshen things up. And I can see them playing this, on Raw, this power couple deal with, Montez Ford and Bianca Belair or something like that,
That's the thing. Like, I don't think Vince McMahon looks at him and sees money, unfortunately.
No.
But yeah, if he can play the power couple shtick up on Raw, I think he can contend for mid-card, maybe tag team.
It will freshen the US title scene up, or the IC title.
Yeah.
Tag team, he will have to find somebody, but I don't know what Tommaso Ciampa's plans or what they have planned for him lah. So
do you remember that terrible call out from last year where they call out like all 4 of the NXT wrestlers? Fucking Aleister Black, Ricochet, Gargano, and Ciampa.
They put them over quite strong. They made them look like badasses, and then after that, disappeared. And look at where Aleister Black is now.
Well, not only that, bro. Like, the way they put them over was literally they just make an announcement on Raw, show their fucking face on the screen, and that's it. It's just such a waste.
Yeah. Maybe hopefully they do a better job of bringing them over to the main roster this time. I mean, that's my guess. And also I say that because all of a sudden, after the match, we get the payoff of all those weeks of the vignettes of who is coming back, who is returning to NXT, right? And I thought it was going to be a guy. So I was like, who's this going to be? It turned out to be Ember Moon.
Ember Moon.
Oh,
Interesting choice.
The Phenom. I guess maybe she's like, I've had it with. It's like a Finn Balor deal. I don't know. She just really wanted to go back to NXT to dominate. But now look at your main event scene on the women's side of things, right? You got Rhea Ripley. You got Ember Moon. Of course, champions Io Shirai. Those three should be rotating and fighting each other for the title. You got
and like just below that, Dakota Kai. You got Raquel Gonzalez. You got Tegan Nox. Even I dare say Aaliyah with the Robert Brand.
Robert
there's a story there.
And
Shotzi Blackheart.
Yes. Who Xia Li apparently has some sort of an angle going on now that happened this week on NXT. The other fella, Boa. Boa came out in a suit. Oh, I'm like, okay.
Oh, finally.
Well, I mean, he had a few matches on NXT and they were the shit, so he probably needed a lot more seasoning. But he apparently is in some sort of a gimmick. He gave her a letter. What's in the letter? Blah, blah, blah. So that's the deal with Xia Li. So at least she has a damn story now.
I'm a big fan of the women's division in NXT. Like, even without Charlotte, honestly, I thought Charlotte was gonna build out the division, but she didn't do shit. Io Shirai is the one that's been building out the division. It's been awesome. I love all of Io Shirai's Japanese promos. Right. She just sounds so menacing. Mm-hmm. She sounds like Rita from Power Ranger if she was talking in Japanese.
Right.
Not just an evil villain. I love it. So she's the glue for the division.
And she sounds like an evil villain, but she's the badass face, because technically she's not the villain, she's the face of this whole story, right? I mean, I'm excited for the women's division. And here's the thing with the NXT culture, right? They know that they're going to lose their top stars eventually, so they're always building new ones, and there might be a period where it's a lull, like, oh shit, like, Charlotte, whole bunch of them left already, right? But soon enough, they'll build somebody up, and they seem to have a very good track record of doing that. So,
I liken it to supporting a very, very talented mid-table Premier League club. Like it's the club, right, where all the big clubs will buy their players. They become good. Yeah. So like, I mean, I don't think you know this German club called Borussia Dortmund.
I've heard of them. Yeah.
Okay, so they are like the most famous German club is Bayern Munich, right?
Yeah.
Based in Munich, very powerful, all conquering, blah blah blah. Borussia Dortmund is like the working class club. They are apparently based in Westfalenstadion. I don't know where the hell that is in Germany. But it's some sort of working class town, and they are famous for like building so many great stars. But then by the time when they are at their peak potential, then Bayern Munich will swoop in and buy them, and they cannot say no. Because they need the money.
Shit.
Yeah, so NXT is literally a developmental club in like how these very successful, popular clubs are just there, but at the end of the day, the big super rich clubs are just gonna mega soup everything.
I find it funny that you had to draw a parallel to football when NXT has always been the developmental brand, Like, I think most of us know it intrinsically. Like, okay, once somebody gets good enough, it's like, okay, whoop, let's take them.
Yeah, the reason why is because in the last 1 year, they've tried to sell themselves as the third brand,
Yeah, I know. And but we all know that that's only because they are on USA and they wanted to put on a TV show to fight with Dynamite.
My biggest fear is how are they going to get the seasoning if everyone expects every single NXT match to be a kick-ass match? They can't afford to make mistakes. Like now, every time NXT has a takeover, it has to be WrestleMania quality level. Work rate level has to be New Japan level. So it's almost unfair to call NXT a developmental brand when they don't even get a chance to make mistakes.
Right. Well, I mean, they haven't been perfect. Let's be honest. They've put on stinkers before. Like, when you see Boa in a match, they randomly swan him for no reason.
You know what they need? What? They need NXT dub.
Oh, God. Yeah. Another show for the low. That's main event. Or that's... I don't know.
They need...
Yeah.
Why is main event called a D show? That's like so dumb. Like the main event.
And exactly. The title of the show is Main Event. So shouldn't be an issue. Anyway, let's not dive into that. Okay.
They should bring back what, bro? They should bring back Velocity
Heat
or Heat.
Yes.
Sunday Night Heat.
NXT Heat. NXT Velocity. Since they love the throwbacks. Oh, speaking of throwbacks, let's not forget Halloween is coming and the return of Halloween Havoc, apparently hosted by Shotzi Blackheart.
How do you feel about that, bro? I mean, because it's gonna be just a regular episode of NXT with a team.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
It's fine, and you give Shotzi Blackheart the shine for that episode because she's, I don't know, green hair, so she's Halloweeny. I guess.
You know what's funny?
What?
I just realized the levels in which WWE has been trolling WCW since WCW's death. Right?
Yeah.
They've been using all their marquee pay-per-views for like throwaway events.
Oh.
Starcade is a house show.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. They make NXT TakeOver War Games into their own TakeOver. And now Havoc is just a throwaway episode.
Great American Bash. Don't forget that.
Throwaway episode.
Oh, but they had 2 nights. No, 2 nights.
In fucking NXT. So like them trolls, WWE.
Okay lah. I feel like it's Vince McMahon going, okay, take the name. I don't care. And Triple H is like, people remember the name. So there is value, to those names.
Remember the story of how like Cody has been trying to get these names to be trademarked on his own, and WWE keep blocking them.
Yeah.
And
well,
only
actually,
to use it for this.
And if you think about it, right, I do believe that a lot of these trademarks have a clause where if you don't use it for X amount of time, it will become public domain.
It
will expire. So that's why it makes sense that they're using it, but they're like, we don't want to use it as a pay-per-view name, so let's just use it for NXT. Actually, that makes perfect sense. That's probably why they're like, okay, this Halloween Havoc license is expiring. You better use it. As NXT is like, okay, let's do a theme show.
At the end of the day, I feel that doesn't matter what's the name of the show. Like fucking can be a horror show, Extreme Rules. Doesn't matter. But if the show is great, you will remember it. You will remember if the show is great. So
the matches
make
and the
quality good.
Yeah, the talents make the show. All right, let's talk about talents. Let's talk about the main event. I saw a picture just now randomly of Finn Balor showing the X-ray of his jaw. Like he legit cracked his jaw in 2 places after this match. Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly. It's the Kyle O'Reilly Showcase show. As far as I'm concerned.
So hard hitting.
Yeah.
There was a few lost teeth, if I'm not wrong. A few teeth were knocked out in the match.
Okay.
What it reminds me of, right, bro? Is all those like Oni Lorcan matches. Where he's just hard hitting, they're just smacking the shit out of each other.
Oni Lorcan in the back going,
be proud.
Oh yeah, Oni Lorcan in the back going, hey shit, I do this all the time. Why is this one so special? Shit.
It should have been me.
It should have been me. So, okay, the whole thing was like there was no interference by the Undisputed Era. It was Kyle O'Reilly out there showing up and showing out, right? So, but where do we go from here?
Do you were you able to foresee this for Kyle O'Reilly, that he was gonna be this like badass, tough as nails, main event potential guy?
Nope.
I think I've mentioned it before in the last week's episode, where like out of all of Undisputed Era, he's like the 3rd or 4th person that I thought would break out.
Yeah. But do you think that maybe because of what he's done in the past and he's generally a liked person, they're like, all right, it's time to give him his shine, and maybe NXT fans for sure will get behind him.
As a guy who has done martial arts and BJJ and all that, does the fact that he do all that, does it make him cooler in your eyes? Like his moveset, does it make him like the reason why people supporting him? Maybe. And he doesn't see the problem is with a lot of quote unquote martial artists in WWE back in the day, right? Their moves look hokey. And the one with Finn Balor, it didn't look fake, if for lack of a better term, It's very hard to make these MMA moves look like a shoot when we know it's a work. It almost seems as if he's legitimately putting these holes on these leg locks on Finn Balor.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good match. Yeah, and it was very hard hitting. Yeah. I enjoyed it thoroughly. The end of it, we had Finn Balor shaking his hand, showing respect. So it just really all felt like a Kyle O'Reilly appreciation night lah. It's great lah. It's great. Yeah, which is good. What I want to talk about is the aftermath of the match. Oh yes, Adam Cole shows up, but he's essentially beat up by Ridge Holland. So Ridge Holland is the new mega heel of NXT.
Where did that come from?
Yeah,
out of nowhere.
Well, I mean, he's been showing up recently, right? And the dirt sheets have indicated that he's the next guy they want to push as this giant big monster villain. I guess he's going to feud with the Undisputed Era. Because, throughout the whole build up to this I think a lot of people were expecting Adam Cole to turn on Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
And then they will move on to feud. But nope, Ridge Holland. And I also have to wonder, would this have been Karrion Kross's spot if Karrion Kross didn't get injured?
The only thing I know about Ridge Holland is the fact that apparently he's some sort of former rugby player.
Right.
And that's how he ended up here. But then again, I can argue for the case of why is Timothy Thatcher not in this role? He's also another hard-hitting guy,
Yeah, but he doesn't have the build. He doesn't look like a tank.
But as you can see from the end of from this past week's NXT, someone made his return, and I think he should have been in that role.
Who is it? I have not watched NXT yet.
Do you want me to say it for you?
Oh, go ahead. I'll probably see it on Instagram later.
Yeah. Your favorite guy, my favorite guy. And he was previously feuding with the Undisputed Era before he got injured.
Who? Tommaso? No, not Tommaso. He's been back for a while.
Dexter Lumis.
Oh, Lumis. Yeah. He was on last week's episode of NXT, if I'm not mistaken. He just showed up randomly backstage. So I was like, back?
Yeah, but the official return was this past week.
Okay.
And he wasn't involved with Undisputed Era, even though I feel that he should have been. They should have continued the story. But remember the one where he drew all of them tied up and kidnapping all of them?
And he locked them in the boot of a car, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been a great swerve if after all this appreciation of Kyle O'Reilly, then now all are supposedly face, right? Then suddenly Dexter Lumis come back, then all of them straight away revert becoming heels again.
Yeah.
It reminds me of what, right? Do you watch Survivor Series 2005, where it was Team Raw versus Team SmackDown? And at the end of it, Randy Orton was the sole survivor for Team SmackDown.
Yeah.
And he was a heel at that point in time, right? But everyone was shouldering him, put him on top of their shoulders, celebrate. Then, gong! It went dark. Everyone just left him at the ring. Everyone cabut. Then the coffin come out. Then it was Undertaker.
Yeah.
He was on fire. Then he said, "You and me, hell in a cell."
Right. And then he turned back heel, yeah.
Yeah, so for that one brief moment in the sun, he was like the all-conquering face of SmackDown. Then boom, back to heel again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the beauty of wrestling. Sometimes, you can have moments where the villains are the heroes, but then you switch it right back to, where they once were. Okay, so that does it for NXT TakeOver 31. All in all, it was, like I always say, right? When I watch these pay-per-views now, I judge it by, was it a waste of my time? And this one definitely was not a waste of my time. I felt like I didn't want it to end. So yeah, there you go.
It was a good way to spend your Monday morning. Huh?
Yeah. Very much so.
Definitely improvement from Night of Champions, in my opinion.
Night of Champions.
At this point in time, Clash of Champions. Sorry. At this point in time, I shouldn't even be comparing WWE pay-per-views and NXT pay-per-view. They are their own separate entity.
Yeah. What? Well,
it's much better. It's much better than NXT TakeOver 30.
Yes. I was about to bring out NXT 30. Might have, throw a wrench in that line of thought. But okay, let's move on then to Raw, of course. And like we talked about last night too, the whole draft thing that's happening this Friday. Well, I mean this Saturday morning for us on SmackDown hasn't been very like no hype like that. Huh? It's like they just sprung it on us very suddenly. Oh, by the way, next week we have the draft. Like, huh? So do you think this was a last minute thing?
To be fair, this time last year the draft happened. So it's been a year since the overall draft. But the thing that has been spoiling all of the momentum and the vibe of it is that this entire year there has been people moving from SmackDown to Raw, NXT to Raw, NXT to SmackDown, back and forth, to the point that you don't even need a draft. Fuck it.
I feel like every year we have the same complaint. And remember at the start of that first draft, when they did the draft, then after a few weeks they had what was it already? Like Mr. McMahon had 3-4 superstars can show up on the other show anytime they want. Remember?
I know. I forgot. Something rule.
It was so stupid we forgot about the name of the rule.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
And guys, please remind us.
Yeah.
Yeah, please remind us.
Everyone complained about it to a point where they finally were, all right, no, let's keep everyone on each brand. And then randomly they have the quarterly cross-branded invitational where randomly like Shinsuke and Cesaro will show up on Raw to challenge the Street Profits. Like
that is the problem with WWE, because they control and own everything, right? They can literally make up their own bullshit and justify it as like a fact and explanation.
Yeah, and then poor Michael Cole has to just say it as if it is a thing, and knowing full well, and I'm sure he has this in his mind. He's like, everyone watching will be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? What cross-branded quarterly invitation? There has never been anything like that announced ever." So anyway.
I'm so annoyed that I can't remember the name of the term. It's just at the back of my mind.
Yeah. Okay, we'll talk about Raw and maybe we will figure it out. But okay, what is kind of bugging me too is that there have been a lot of cross-brand feuds that have been started already before the draft was announced. So it's almost as
agreed.
It's like a spoiler. Like, okay, for example, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens showed up on SmackDown to do the KO show, even though he's a Raw guy. And then immediately you're like, okay, these two are going to be drafted to the same brand already. Because obviously they're starting a program with them.
Another great example is Braun Strowman starting a feud with Keith Lee.
Yeah, on Raw.
And
right?
They did acknowledge that Adam Pearce guy acknowledged that you are a SmackDown guy. You're not supposed to be here, but I can give you an unsanctioned match. There was some effort there. Okay, I give them credit.
but you know that one of them is going to go to the other's brand, right?
Yeah, the brand. Yeah.
I'm more inclined to believe that Braun Strowman is going to come to Raw because Keith Lee, I feel he just showed up on Raw. To move him to SmackDown would be like he hasn't even had time to build his name on Raw. So I feel like this is a dead giveaway for Braun Strowman coming over to Raw to continue his feud with Keith Lee.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely talk about the draft soon and who we personally feel should be on either draft or either brand. And we've sent out the poll to our listeners as well, so we can talk about it in a bit. But I guess for Raw, maybe we should just start right at the top and like address the biggest story coming out of the show.
Well, it depends on which story you enjoy. But for me anyway, and this was the first thing I messaged you on Monday morning, right? Or Tuesday morning.
Yep. Tuesday morning,
Bro, did you see Raw? Did you see who was revealed as the leader of Retribution? And I feel like they built it up quite well. You know, they had the tag, not the tag match. They had the tag match earlier in the night where Ricochet and Apollo Crews fought Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, and they even threw a swerve. They threw a swerve in there. They kind of hinted as if like, oh, Ricochet is going to turn and join the Hurt Business. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah. He looked behind. He looked behind. He was like, He was the only one that stayed behind and like was considering, right?
But bro, when he came out and then he like talked and they talk shit, I'm like, Ricochet cannot talk shit. I don't. Every time he gets on the mic, he sounds like I hate to say it, but he sounds like a nerdy sort of like a. You can't take him seriously. He seems like a punk kid.
You want to know like how I'm gonna break your impression of Ricochet with just this one simple comparison?
Okay, go.
Have you watched Scrubs?
Scrubs, yes, Scrubs. I love Scrubs.
Zach Braff.
Yes,
he looks like the best friend.
Oh my god!
Right, like the black best friend.
No, but the best friend that I forgot his name already. But at least he was funny. He had this like sense of comedic timing, and he was very sarcastic sometimes. Ricochet just sounds like a whine. Okay, you know what? Ricochet is like the personality of Zach Braff's character, but he looks like the best friend. He just seems like a big nerd.
He's
with incredible talent.
I was just randomly watching, Mean Tweets, Jimmy Kimmel Live's Mean Tweets.
Yeah.
And there was this Avengers edition. So all the Avengers cast and characters was reading on the Mean Tweets. And then God rest his soul, Chadwick Boseman read his Mean Tweet. It was the fucking funniest thing ever because even in that Mean Tweet, there was a compliment there.
Okay.
Like he said, the tweet was like, how can like the coolest black guy on earth has a white ass name like Chadwick? And for some reason, I thought of Ricochet because Ricochet is like, he has the coolest moves in the ring. Like, I've watched his stuff in New Japan. He had like his matches in Evolve. He's like, when he shows off his athleticism, he's like the coolest guy on earth. Like when he did that flip from the ring to the outside and face up to Velveteen Dream and did that pose, like, show me. Like, that is cool. Yeah. You give him more than 3 sentences,
cannot.
Impression gone.
He just, I'm sorry lah, but him and the worst part is you go and put him with a bunch of other people who also cannot talk. You put him with freaking Cedric Alexander, who has now joined Hurt Business, and Apollo Crews. And when they both get on the mic together, it's like, oh no. They seem like the nerdy kids at school trying to step up to the jocks. You know what I mean? Like the computer club boys trying to stand up to the football team.
But in the wrestling sense, right, they look like that. But if you put them in the real world, they are gonna be the jocks because their bodies are all fucking amazing and their physics are all there. But they just have the most nicest, genuine, good boy face.
No, compared to the Hurt Business, though. I mean, like I guess what you're saying is in real life, if you put Ricochet next to me, of course he looks like the man, right? But I mean, this is the world of the WWE. You are talking about the land of the giants where they are trying to face off against Shelton Benjamin and freaking Bobby Lashley, who is twice the size of them. They're like a bunch of and he tried to make a joke. I was like, wow, lame. I want the Hurt Business to beat the shit out of them. The Hurt Business just oozes cool and deadliness and,
I'm happy.
Badass.
I'm happy that Ricochet didn't join the Hurt Business because he doesn't have the face for it. I agree. Cedric Alexander looks like a badass. He looks like a cool
he can pull it
guy.
Off.
He looks like he's been through the streets, live the hard life. So like he can play that role. I really think that the definition of a white meat babyface should be Ricochet, but not in a bad way. Like someone like Rey Mysterio. I think he is the nicest, most babyface looking guy ever, but his athleticism was what made him cool. Yeah. And when he started talking and doing promos, right, his first few feuds where he had to talk was against Eddie Guerrero. So come on, Eddie Guerrero is going to lift him up to a certain level, right?
Yeah.
So I think Ricochet needs to have a great dance partner to bring it out of him. Like to me, his best feud, in my opinion, was against Velveteen Dream.
Right, because you had somebody who could push the buttons. And exactly it, he needs to be in a feud where he doesn't need to talk. He just needs to come out and show off his skills. And I think he's one of those guys like that needs to not talk a lot and just show people what he can do. Because we all know he's immensely talented with what he can do in the ring. It's just when he talks, really, like you said, 3 lines and you're like, cannot. Can't take him seriously.
I really like, if you remember last year, Randy Orton had a very brief mini feud with Ricochet.
Yeah.
And Ricochet looked really, really good. Because it was like there was this feeling that Randy was this veteran who's gonna like stalking down to Ricochet, and Ricochet got this like inner fire that like, you know what, I can prove to you that I'm better than you, that kind of shit. So like that kind of him constantly having to prove himself. Yeah, I think that is a compelling story. Put him in positions where he can succeed without him having to talk more than 3 sentences. That's what I'm trying to say.
Why did that feud not elevate him though? Did it?
Because it was a throwaway 2-week feud. It wasn't a built-up feud to a pay-per-view.
Correct.
But I have to agree, one feud that failed him, and I thought that was gonna push it to the next level, was his feud against AJ Styles. SummerSlam 2019, he was feuding with AJ Styles over the US Championship with the OC backing him.
But I remember that. But also it felt like a throwaway after a while. It almost feels as if, right, the people in charge creative gives up on him. Like they know he's talented. They want to give him a push, but then when they hear the crowd reaction, when they see him on the mic, it's like, oh, maybe not. Maybe let's move on to somebody else, And
it's amazing, in my opinion, that the crowd can get bored of someone like Ricochet when he literally wows the crowd everywhere he goes with his moveset.
Well, let's go back to the whole criticism I've always had about people who do flippity-floppities like the Young Bucks, like the Lucha Bros, right? If you do the same thing all the time, it becomes the norm and therefore it doesn't become special anymore.
I have a theory, bro. Okay, we all know about the match that Ricochet had with Will Ospreay that was like, that divided the internet.
Flip Fest, yes.
Because half was saying like, this is so cool. They're all super, athletic, all coordinated, blah blah blah, flashy and that kind of shit. And the other half, the old school guys, is like, this is not wrestling.
Yeah.
This is bullshit. They're not selling.
This
Blah blah blah, right?
Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah. What if, right? This is WWE's way of like trying to bring down Ricochet and like fuck you and your moves. In this world, it doesn't gonna mean shit, and they're probably trying to put him in certain situations to get Ricochet to prove himself, like legit, like backstage, like, hey, can you sing or swim? And he's basically swimming, and they're all like super like smug about it. Like, yeah,
you mean he's sinking?
Yeah, he's sinking because I feel that WWE is putting him in positions to fail, almost on purpose.
I don't think it is an on purpose thing. I feel like, and I stand by what I've just said, this style of that match with Will Ospreay, right? This style of wrestling is not sustainable. It's great at a house show if you only see him once every month, then whoa, it will stand out, right? But on a weekly show, you cannot be doing the same shit every single week. It becomes boring. There's no story being told. So I wouldn't say they're purposely doing it to put him down. I would say that they are putting him in there to see if he can stand on his own and work a style and make himself memorable without having to do this flashy shit or this flippy shit all the time.
I am of the opinion that Ricochet, Aleister Black all got pulled up to the main roster too soon. Like they shouldn't have gone to the main roster last year in 2019. When they went up, it was a shock. Ricochet if he had stayed in NXT this year, he would have already been an NXT champion at least once.
Right.
He has the ability to be a face of a smaller promotion, like a lower level brand,
like NXT.
And I think, in the sense of the hierarchy of WWE, like if he is in NXT as a champion, he would have been having great feuds with Finn Balor as a heel, Johnny Gargano as a heel. And I believe they can give kick-ass matches, but still bring up the character of Ricochet. In my opinion.
But I mean, as we all know, and we agree on this, the second you give him the time to talk more than 3 lines, that's it already. You give up on him already. He's like, cannot. And the worst part is, here's the thing. They tried to make him sound cool by he like played a prank on them and he like, I'm like, the second he started laughing, he really sounded dorky. I'm like, oh no. He's like, I want.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
No, I know.
Look what I need.
I remember the exact part, and I basically rolled my eyes. I was like, Ricochet, why you do this?
And he's supposed to be the face, the guy that we are cheering. And immediately I'm like, okay, Bobby Lashley, please beat the hell out of him right now.
Oh shit, yeah, man.
I don't know who's supposed to appeal to, the nerds. I mean, I'm a nerd, but I feel like I'm like, oh, okay.
No. Like if you want to talk about a guy that's appealing to me, I gotta talk about Mustafa Ali.
Okay, yes.
Mustafa Ali, let's finally talk about
we went on this huge tangent. But okay,
Ricochet,
so I love that they built it up and it was like, oh, are you going to join us? Are you going to join us when Retribution surrounded the ring? And for a moment, you're like, oh, is this Ali's way of joining the Hurt Business? But ta-da, swerve. And the second he ran out of the ring, I'm like, fuck, he's the leader of Retribution, isn't he?
But when that realization happened in real time, what was your first impression? How do you feel?
I was like, I was shocked because I was like, really? They're going to give it to him to head it? I'm like, okay. I didn't hate the idea because we all know how talented he is in the ring. And I've seen him in interviews, he can talk. He's a lot better than Ricochet on the mic. Can you imagine Ricochet as the leader of Retribution? I was the leader all along. Wow, slap the fellas out.
But okay. you make him sound like Stewie from Family Guy. Oh shit! Okay.
If he could do that, it would actually be interesting. But no, obviously they are going to now call back the whole hacker gimmick. He has to be the hacker.
Please, they have to. Yeah. The only way this whole entire situation will like revive Retribution from the dead, right, is if they somehow tie it to the hacker. And you know what's the best thing? I've been like, reading Mustafa Ali's tweets, in the weeks preceding. He's always talking a lot of shit because he said like, guys, if you want to see the real main event, watch main event before Raw because I'm gonna be the main event. Like things like this where like you feel sorry for him kind of shit. But like, legit, like that tweet that really cracked me out. It was like, guys, you want to watch the real main event?
What
Then check
main-
out main event before Raw.
Aiyo.
And then like, hey, if you look at all the callbacks, Mustafa Ali had one of the best years going into SmackDown. After 205 Live, he went to SmackDown. He was pushed. He had matches against the likes of Daniel Bryan. He was supposed to be in the Chamber last year.
Yeah.
He got injured by Randy Orton. And then what happened? Kofi Kingston took his space. And then next thing you know, Kofi Mania happened.
Yeah.
So it was unfortunate for Mustafa Ali, but it was an opportunity for Kofi Kingston. And then once he returned from injury, he did absolutely nothing in 2019. Like he came back, SmackDown went to Fox, didn't do shit. And then this year, he basically sat on the bench for like 7 months until his like random return a couple of weeks back.
Yep.
And in my mind, I was thinking like, man, Mustafa Ali needs something because he has, like you said, he can speak. You know, you've seen his documentary. He has a great story to him.
Yeah.
And no need to say about his moveset. He's one of the smoothest guys in the ring.
Yeah.
Who else remembers his super badass counter to the RKO where he did the handstand?
Handstand, yeah.
Yeah, so like we know he can go in the ring, but he needed something to like elevate him. And I credit WWE for having the balls on putting the Retribution leader on a current guy.
Yeah.
Giving him an opportunity to see whether he can carry the ball and run.
Correct. And well, I mean,
yeah.
If you think about it, right, there's only one guy who's been coming out wearing a mask this whole time, and it's Mustafa.
Mustafa Ali. If they tie that, also it would have been damn funny. It would have been damn dope. Because when the reason why people thought Mustafa Ali was a hacker was the way he was saying, like, you know, he was using all these references to the light. They can see the light, you know, I can see everything, blah, blah, blah. And like it just ties with his gimmick. And he would have come back as a heel, but we were all warming up to the idea because we know that he is a very passionate guy. I think he can pull off a heel if given the right material. I have only one concern, bro.
Oh, yes. And
we already have a Messiah on Raw.
Yeah. No, I hope his character is not going to be a Messiah type character. It's more like a leader of a revolution sort of a character, you know, leading this group of people who have been ignored, disregarded, thrown to the side, you know, like your Dominic Dijakovic, Dio Madden, and Shane Thorne. And I guess along the way, they could reveal them one by one and explain the motivations. I hope that is what they do, because I don't want them to be forever be T-bar and corkscrew and fucking screwdriver, whatever shit. Teabag.
Teabag. Okay.
Whatever names they
how
are.
happy are you that Dijakovic ended up being the second in command, the evil Uno instead of the main guy?
You know
how
what?
happy are you?
I am quite happy. I hope that, you know, I don't know, somewhere along the way, maybe there'll be dissension amongst the ranks and they'll break off. But right now, he doesn't need to be the mastermind.
Yeah.
His promos have been mostly like yelling, like blah, 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 type stuff. And to have a cold, calculated leader, I think makes sense. And
he sounds looks more like a henchman carrying out the dirty deeds than the actual brain.
Exactly. And speaking of which, right, like the whole Dark Order, when Brodie Lee was announced as the leader, and he's supposed to be like, he looks more like the henchman than the leader, you know, and he hasn't really been put across as this like very thoughtful. No, he's like losing his shit and yelling at people. So I like that the leader of Retribution is like this cold, calculated thinker, a hacker.
Okay, can I just say, yes, a lot of people have been shitting on the mask, the look and all that, right? But I think I've mentioned it before, but I really personally like how Dio Madden looks. I think Mace looks super badass. I even dare say go as far as to say that he's the coolest looking mask character since Kane, in my opinion.
Really?
Really, like, I don't recognize him at all, bro. I mean, like, obviously his dreads give it away, but he legit looks like Predator in a black guy's body, and he's so menacing looking. I like when I first saw him, right, with his eye contacts and like just the whole menacing look at him, I would be scared to see him in the ring. Like he can maul someone in the ring with just his look.
So why not Dijakovic? Why Madden and not Dijakovic? Is it the hair? Is it the dreads?
Just something about Mace was really menacing. Dijakovic, I think. T-Bar lost it for me. You know why?
Why?
You know, when I started reading his tweets,
Oh, okay.
You need to see his tweets, bro. His tweets, he tried to justify why he's fired and being signed, and then like why he's called Tiba. Oh my god! Even like Eric Bischoff shitted on him. He like replied to his tweet and say like, "You are totally killing your own gimmick, brother."
Oh no! Okay, I need to go check out his
So
tweets now.
if you want to have humor and like enjoy yourself, have a good laugh, go check out Tiba's tweets.
T-Buff. Oh dear. And then Shane Thorne's like quietly in the corner being the prankster.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Okay, I guess they replaced the women weren't there. I think maybe they were part of the few that got quarantined because of the whole COVID situation.
Yep.
Because they haven't shown up on Raw for quite a while. So good things, man. I just hope, okay. And maybe in 2020, WWE are not going to do something like this because they are more politically correct. But we all remember the last time they had a brown guy as a heel.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking
Muhammad
about?
Hassan,
Yes, Muhammad
Yes,
Hassan,
Muhammad
and how that completely went sideways. I hope.
I think Mustafa Ali is so much more cerebral and smarter. I feel like Muhammad Hassan was he's a very one-trick. No offense, but he's very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Because he just had him and he just had the Vari as his heat.
Yeah.
And that's it. Talk about bigotry, blah, blah, blah. But I think Mustafa Ali is more menacing, more calculated. Like, he's going to do shit. He's going to stir up shit here and there. And I can't wait for his... you know what I really can't wait for?
What?
And I really hope they go down this direction. What if Drew McIntyre wins his title feud with Randy Orton, right? And then Drew McIntyre versus Mustafa Ali.
Wow, okay.
If they can build up Mustafa Ali to that level.
Okay, what I foresee...
Are you still there?
Oh, okay. I think we got a bit of lag.
Okay, we just had a
lag spike.
Just had a brain freeze.
Yeah, we all just... okay, yeah, no, I absolutely agree with what you just said. But to get there, though, I think, they're going to have to build him up. And what, are we going to have Retribution interfere in every match so that Mustafa Ali wins every match? Then we're going to have to explain why T-Bar and Mace, they follow Mustafa Ali. Maybe because, they explain he's the hacker, right? Maybe he has information about all of them. Maybe he has information about the current superstars and he uses this information against them. He has to be smart. Yeah.
That's why I say if they really know how to build him up, within 1 month, right, he'll be the hottest thing in all of wrestling. You know why? If he uses his so-called hacker storyline, talk about all the injustices that are happening all over WWE. I remember the one of the vignette about the hacker, he was looking at like tag teams being broken up, put back together. He can use it to get girls on his side. And then what if, you see, in the next 1 month, if WWE really commits to Retribution, they can have Mia Yim and Mercedes Martinez winning the tag team championships from Shayna and Nia Jax. That can be an entire feud that can last a couple of months because all four can go in the ring. I mean, not Nia Jax, but all the rest all can go in the ring.
Not Nia Jax. Wow.
And then, bro, now that I realize Tiba is just one of the henchmen, he and Dio Medin can go after Street Profits. Tag team as well. Target the tag teams.
Okay, hold on. I think it makes more sense for Dio and Shane Thorne to go after to be the tag team because I feel like you need a mid-carder and that's where Dijakovic comes in. T-Bar can go for the US title.
He can beat Lashley because it makes sense because they have business with the Hurt Business right now.
They have business. So yeah, imagine Retribution. Wow, you're putting them in all the title feuds, and imagine if they won all the titles.
Correct.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, logically, if you follow storyline logic, right? Retribution is shaking up Raw. They're causing disturbances to Raw. They're causing riots on this main show. As the leader of the locker room, as the brand's number one guy, shouldn't Drew McIntyre have something to say about it?
Yeah.
Like eventually he has to address it. He has already, in certain aspects, he had that rah-rah talk with the locker room and said, hey, you all have to come together and we're gonna beat this threat, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But then finally, if he comes face to face with Mustafa Ali, and I just believe that Mustafa Ali will give a great promo segment with Drew McIntyre for some reason, and then he will try to lure Drew to the dark side somehow, and it will be very compelling TV.
I just hope I hope they don't try to take shortcuts and make it like stupid reasons. I really hope they go cerebral with this and have make Ali and his intentions almost as if like you can side with them, you can agree with them, you can agree that, oh my God, yeah, these are injustices. I hope they script something so smart, but this is WWE we're talking about, so I don't have the faith. And I
know. Yeah, I get what you mean. Because right now, right, I think a lot of people's complaints about WWE, and I agree, is that the current wrestlers are not memorable or iconic or someone you find cool. You even like if you're a mainstream guy, you don't know anything about them.
Yeah. Like The Rock or Austin were,
The Rock, Brock Lesnar, even John Cena has achieved mainstream status. But then, obviously, I've been into basketball very recently, NBA and that kind of stuff. And then, hearing the conversations, I start to pick up names, people who are the main guys in NBA, which I wouldn't have known if I didn't follow NBA.
Right.
But
right.
How can they reach the level of a LeBron or a Kevin Durant or people that I don't even follow basketball, but I knew that I hear their names. I've heard their names before.
Yeah.
I believe WWE needs to right now. They are at the cups of rebuilding, regenerating their stars, right?
Yeah.
They need to make all their stars seem important, have a story. Then they can become worth, Hurt Business.
Yeah.
Great example of them rehabilitating stars with the talent that they have.
But to be fair, that's exactly it though. And we've been talking about recently how, WWE wants to take control of all their properties and it is incumbent on the celebrity or the star itself to outshine everybody and become a mainstream star. I feel like, they're not going to create someone has to create it themselves. And I don't know if that person is going to be a Drew, Ali, or Roman Reigns. Okay, Roman Reigns maybe has the potential to break out, to become one of those names, even outside of the genre, right? But people like The Rock, Cena, Austin, those are one of a kind. Those are once in a lifetime type characters.
Yeah, okay, that's true. But what I'm trying to say is they don't have to reach the level of a mainstream crossover talent. But someone like Kurt Angle, non-wrestling fans would have heard about his Suck It or You Suck. Or Angle Slam. They know him because of wrestling, but he doesn't have to be a crossover talent. What I'm saying is a lot of people now really, really like Sasha Banks or know Sasha Banks because obviously
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. I mean, not just because of Mandalorian, but what I'm trying to say is very casual fans know Sasha Banks because she's just she has some sort of appeal that crosses over, maybe through her Snoop Dogg connections. Yeah, I have people who I know don't follow wrestling know who Sasha Banks is.
But why?
I also do not know why. I really trying to find out what's the connection, but they
Total
just know
Divas, bro. Total Divas.
She's never been on Total Divas, if I'm not wrong.
You're right. She's never. Yeah.
The Nikki Bellas the Bella twins are a perfect example of a crossover talent, right?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is WWE has people, but they're not over yet. They need to start one by one getting their current stars over. That's what I'm trying to say.
Meanwhile,
Mustafa Ali versus Drew McIntyre, great first step to building a new main event title scene.
But how do we even ever envision that to be a fair fight? Look at Drew, look at Mustafa. Unless you're talking about the entire Retribution getting involved, lah.
Yes, and also Mustafa using his smarts and his wiles. Yeah. I am hoping, in my mind, this storyline is gonna stretch out until it blows off at Survivor Series. So we got 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months of build
to make Retribution the biggest thing for Survivor Series. The opposition team. I
just hope that and we know that WWE has a track record of doing this. Oh, they build it up, and then it turns out, Ali is he's the leader. They don't really explain why. They just say he's the brains.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
The goons, they just, he becomes one of those power in numbers guys. I have all these guys surrounding me. And then after a while, they get beat, and then bye-bye, gone. It's like Nexus.
I wouldn't compare him to Nexus only because for some reason, I really believe Mustafa Ali can be a breakout star. Something about him just screams he's smarter. I think because of his underdog story, he was supposed to be an alternate for the Cruiserweight Classic and all that.
Yeah.
And he has the whole backstory of being a police officer. So I feel like he has enough of a story that people can like, you know what? Yeah, what he's doing is wrong, but I kind of agree with him. You know, Antifa a bit, you know.
WWE need to capitalize on that. But if they don't tell, and like I said, I don't trust. It's not that I don't trust Ali and his ability to tell these stories. I don't trust WWE to be nuanced enough to tell these stories.
Yeah, I know. I completely understand.
Prove us wrong.
But that's why we are. That's why we want them to prove us wrong. That's why we're in a toxic relationship with WWE.
Yeah,
Stockholm syndrome.
A little bit.
But because we believe that when wrestling is good, it can be the greatest thing in the world.
Yes.
So
okay.
There's always that hope.
Yes. So okay, let's put a cap on Retribution and Mustafa Ali. Which, by the way,
okay,
I hope
thumbs up. Let's just decide. Thumbs up, Mustafa Ali as the leader.
Oh yeah, thumbs up for sure. I just hope. Okay, and this is the worst case scenario, right? The draft comes and Mustafa Ali goes to SmackDown. Can you imagine the fuck up that would be? And then just
okay.
Oh my god! And they split up Retribution, and then Retribution completely fades into obscurity.
You brought out a great point. The only person that I'm just gonna say my early prediction. You know who I really feel that needs to go to SmackDown because he will get in the way of this whole Retribution angle.
Who?
There can only be one Messiah on Raw.
Oh, okay. No, Seth, but okay. Even though, let's get to the next one then, because this is the other thing that happened on Raw. That was the big thing, right?
Yep.
Even though I enjoyed the Retribution stuff and Mustafa Ali, this is low-key also my favorite angle on Raw right now.
I know.
The love triangle, the telenovela section of Raw. Okay, so we have, and I enjoyed the whole you have till 10 o'clock to give me an answer, right? So he's really just pouring on the dick. Like, man, he is so good at being such a dick to Murphy.
Dick energy.
The big dick energy. So Murphy finally turns on him, right? He's like, you say sorry to Aaliyah. So he's like the bad boy trying to make good. This is like a teen drama, and I love it because it is so relatable. And then Aaliyah, like I mentioned last night, she apparently has like covered up. She's not dressed quite as
Cindy Crawford like as last week.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a on purpose thing, or maybe she just had a different wardrobe today. But yeah, and then who came out with Dominic Mysterio in the tag team? Humberto Carrillo.
Your favorite guy.
No, he's my favorite guy because he fits this storyline. If you missed last week's episode, I was saying, okay, this is your opportunity to build 3, 4, 5 wrestlers all at once, right? Because you got Seth Rollins, you got Rey Mysterio already, and Rey Mysterio is like the concerned dad, you know. Dominic is the son, the quote-unquote chosen one. That's the angle that they're going with. That's why Aaliyah is all rebelling, and then she quote-unquote sending messages to Murphy, and it seems like Murphy, being the bad boy, he was siding with Seth Rollins. Now he has a soft spot for Aaliyah. Maybe she's showing him the error of his ways. Oh, he's not like that. He's not like that. And I think she's doing a fine job conveying that. Okay, she's not a trained actress, I don't think. She's definitely not a wrestler. So she's definitely sort of the catalyst to all this stuff. She's like a Miss Elizabeth. You know, she's the sweet.
That's a great comparison. Yeah.
That you don't want anything bad to happen to her because you feel bad for her. And that's probably why they made her cover up, to make her even more innocent. And I
have, inklings of this rivalry harkening back to the days of, remember Alex Riley and The Miz. Do you remember about them?
I think I stopped watching at that time.
Yeah. So there was this era when The Miz was like the WWE champion, right?
Yeah.
Which is completely forgettable. So if you don't remember, it's fine. But The Miz, when he was the number one like bad heel going into WrestleMania to fight against John Cena, and The Rock all came back and blah blah blah, right? He also was an NXT mentor.
Yes.
So NXT that time was a talent show, right?
Yeah.
So they have like their NXT rookies and their mentors. His mentor won the second season, which is Alex Riley lah. As in, didn't win the second season. His mentor was part of the second season, but he was like the hype guy for The Miz, helping him carrying his briefcase everywhere, blah blah blah. But eventually, The Miz turned on him, berated him, saying that you're useless, you suck, you keep screwing up, blah blah blah. Slap him in the head a lot of time, shout his face, blah blah blah. And the thing is, right, Alex Riley was a hated guy as well. He was an arrogant, douchey, dick bag kind of guy, whatever it is, right? But because the Miz was so terrible and treated him so badly, he just straight away turned face lah. Like by byproduct of the Miz's asshole douchebaggery.
Well, okay.
He became a face.
This mechanic or this storyline has been done 1,000,001 times. The earliest memory of this kind of storyline was, for me, $1 Million Man and Virgil. I don't know if you remember that, but
I remember. Yeah.
Virgil would follow $1 Million Man, listen to everything he had to say, do all his dirty deeds. But it got to a point where $1 Million Man kept berating him, kept treating him so poorly that when Virgil finally had enough and beat up the $1 Million Man, the crowd went crazy. It's like, yes, you fight against that guy who's been, oppressing you. And definitely the whole Murphy, Seth Rollins mechanic, not mechanic, the whole relationship has gone that way. But
can I just say the $1 Million Man and Virgil? That is a very that wouldn't fly in 2020 lah.
No,
have a white guy having a manservant as a that's a kudos to WWF for pulling that off.
Yeah. But I mean, back in that day, yeah. So now we have this mechanic, but also in the whole telenovela, which, look, like I said, if you missed it last week, this is what I'm pitching, okay? We need Humberto Carrillo as the boy that Ray and Dominic are trying to push to earlier. Hey, you date this nice boy. Look at him. He's such a nice boy. He's a kind, respectful fella. He didn't try to poke Ray Mysterio, your dad's eye out, right? And that's a story that we all have either seen on TV or maybe even had play out in our real life. Like somebody, a relative trying to push a guy onto us or a girl onto us that we are not interested in. So I'm like, dude, this is perfect. I hope they go there. I mean, with Humberto and Dominic already a tag team, I feel like they're planting the seeds, And then it's like, maybe, and I want to see vignettes. I want to see them. I want to see Aaliyah, agree to go on a date, to try it out with Humberto. And then halfway during the date, you see her fucking texting Murphy, right? And bro, this could last all the way till freaking WrestleMania. I swear.
Okay, I okay. First of all, I really want the story to be Seth Rollins and Murphy. Like that should be the main focus. But Humberto Carrillo, man, he needs the screen time. So I'm happy that he gets the opportunity if he does.
And you see, here's the thing. If they write them all into the story, you elevate all of them at the same time. Yeah. Because at some point, you can have Humberto having this story development of, he's trying his best to be the good guy, right? But then, finally, she decides to go with Murphy and not him, and then he snaps. He de facto becomes heel because he's been spurned and he's been kicked to the side. Oh, I'm such a nice guy. Why won't you go with me? And you can have that story play out. And not only that, build his character. Because right now, let's face it, what is a Humberto Carrillo? Nobody freaking knows.
He cannot blue tick. He cannot blue tick too much already.
Blue tick, bro. Blue tick. And then at some point, maybe you can have Murphy reveal that he was planning this all along. And, he was trying to get at Ray through the daughter. Or he could, be the reformed bad guy. However you want to throw it, at least now you have even more options to play with.
One thing you can't deny, right, bro, is that the Mysterio drama, family drama, right, has some of the highest viewership in terms of YouTube views, right?
Yes.
Amongst all of the Raw segments.
Bro, people love this sort of telenovela shit. And I love that. That's why I say it is low-key my favorite stuff. And I hope they really... I don't want them to go too crazy. But I want them to... I don't mind seeing some outside vignettes when they can film them having dinner, that kind of shit. Because remember, what was one of SmackDown's hottest angles for a long time? Otis and Mandy.
Mandy and Otis,
yeah. Speaking of Otis, what the hell is he doing with his money in the bank briefcase?
I mean, we can talk about it in a bit. My God, that's another story. But what I wanted to say was, do you see the tweet that Alexa Bliss sent out in support of Murphy?
What did she
send? And he
out?
got a whole lot of shit.
Because of their former relationship. Okay, what did she send out?
Okay, so obviously they used to be engaged, right?
Yeah.
So Alexa Bliss kind of joked that because I think she was reposting or replying to a WWE Twitter page tweet about should Murphy go out on a date with Aaliyah? Can you guys see a romance blossoming? Blah blah blah. And then like Alexa Bliss just chimed in and said like, yeah, Murphy, you should go for it, man. I wouldn't say no to that, Howdy, or something like that lah. She's saying that, you know, basically encouraging the ex like, hey, go for it, go try, you know. And then like she just got a whole barrage of hate tweets saying that, are you telling me that you're condoning dating minors?
Wait. But Aaliyah is not a minor. Why did they keep...
but like, you know how people are, they're just making it weird. They're just weirding it out, saying like,
stupid.
Oh, so you're supportive of him dating a girl that's 10 years his junior? Why is he blah blah blah? And then like Alexa Bliss is like, guys, give it a rest. Like, can't I just support my ex?
Yeah.
You know, for getting television time on screen.
Yeah,
you know, this is a great opportunity for him, and I'm happy for him. And then she even had to defend herself, which I think is totally unnecessary. The fact she had to do that, just shows how sucky toxic the social media is. She said that by the way, she's 29, and my my boyfriend Ryan Cabrera is like 37, 38 now. So it's like, we have 10 years difference. So what does it matter? Like you know, shouldn't matter. And the fact is, end of the day, she is supporting her ex getting television time and getting his opportunity because he deserves it.
Okay, this
people
I mean, we talk shit about wrestling and, you know, angles a lot of the time, but, you know, I feel like we need to make it clear that a lot of the times too, we are not like, it's like we have issues with where the storylines go and placements and stuff like that, but it's like stuff like this is truly toxic. It's just dumb. You know what I mean? It's like, why would you even say that? You know, and I feel like a lot of these people, trolls, they just say things for the reactions to get Alexa Bliss to react to me. Oh, look, Alexa Bliss reacted to my tweet. Oh, I'm such a cool guy now. Because, you know, in their regular lives, they're freaking losers.
They won't meet Alexa Bliss lah. They won't dare to talk to someone.
In real life, if they really ran into Alexa Bliss, they'll probably, you know, like stand there and like, and like not know what to do. Yeah, exactly.
I just had this vision of The Rock mimicking Goldberg.
Yeah.
You remember?
Oh no, didn't he
What's
mimic...
he gonna do to me?
Yeah. Didn't he do that to Big Show? So one time.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But you know what I mean, like,
I can't believe I can't believe WWE let the wrestlers call other people retards on live television.
Well, those were the
days.
Different attitude, different era. Okay, Keith Lee, Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman shows up because I don't know why there has been no episodes of Underground. I mean, I know why, because the COVID thing, right? But why can't they just dress up a set and get other people down there? Why would they just abandon the whole storyline?
I feel that it's on hold. It's abandoned.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would prefer a better explanation instead of just keeping mum about it. But hey, I'm not missing it.
No.
Like, life still goes on.
So, maybe they realize that, okay, we are now just doing it for the sake of doing it because we announced it as a segment, but it's just sucking now and we don't know what to do with it. So let's just put it on hold for a week or two and see where it goes.
Get everyone back. You know, and,
then we do it
safe and healthy. Yeah.
So okay, you got Braun Strowman showing up in a shirt. He looks like the roided up version of a Hardy. Do you remember the old Hardy? The old the Hardys used to dress like that. The tight shirt with the.
He looked like P.S. Hayes.
Yeah.
As a manager.
Yeah.
As a manager.
Right?
Yeah.
So him, the Hardys from the era, and Sami Zayn should form a stable. All dressed the same. For goodness sake.
Oh my god.
Wanting a match, and then he gets a match, an exhibition with Keith Lee. So I guess that's your next feud. And like we alluded to earlier, this obviously is a hint that one of them is moving to the other brand. And like I said, I feel like Braun Strowman needs a fresh start. You know, he's not gonna get over Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns has such a strong storyline as a champion now. Best thing for him, move to Raw.
Keith Lee and Braun Strowman can be a signature feud, to be honest. Like, it can be one of the bigger feuds on Raw. But then again, like I said, Keith Lee needs to go over, unfortunately. I know it's to the detriment of Braun, but if Braun is really a company man, team player, I think it's time for him to put over Keith Lee. Keith Lee needs that rocket ship, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. Even if Keith Lee goes over, it doesn't necessarily mean that Braun will look bad. It just depends on how they do it, right? And I can foresee them having regular match, then hardcore, no rules match, then hardcore match, then some match where they go all around the arena, the whole arena collapse on them or some shit like that. That needs to happen. And especially with these two, it needs to be like physical feats. Like, wow. You know, remember when Braun was lifting trailers and shit?
Yep.
Can you imagine the memes they could make of, let's say, they freaking both push the trailer, they try to push the trailer on each other, but then they're both like on either end of it trying to push it over. And you don't agree?
It's literally the definition of a horse fight. It's like literally King Kong versus Godzilla. Like,
yes.
Like, it's literally that. So
only
exciting to watch.
This King Kong can do moonsault. Okay, we're talking about Keith Lee.
And that Godzilla can do a drop kick. So
drop kick.
Both of them are athletic.
Yeah,
big ass and athletic. So
I want to see this. I definitely want to see this.
Much better than Braun Strowman and Double Kato, right?
Yes, 101%. Because Double Kato has literally zero heat behind him, and let's not forget, Braun Strowman killed Double Kato already. He punched him one time, he disappeared from TV for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Poor Double Kato. Oh well, I mean that's all there is to Raw, in my opinion. Like all the big issues with address.
You mean Drew Gulak winning the 24/7 title is not important over R-Truth?
Sorry, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, what? Never mind.
Janitor nonsense. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke are a thing now on Raw.
Well, they're not a thing to me. It's not a thing worth knowing about.
Yeah.
Very poor thing, Mandy Rose. Very poor thing. That's all I have to say.
Kevin, okay, so the other feud, I guess, that is of note, and I guess Bray Wyatt is coming to Raw. Kevin Owens.
I don't think so.
Or you think Kevin Owens is going to SmackDown?
I think Kevin Owens is going to SmackDown. I mean, I believe that Bray still have unfinished business with Roman Reigns. Don't forget. Yeah.
Okay,
so.
Alexa Bliss technically is a Raw or SmackDown.
She's on SmackDown.
She's SmackDown. Okay, so maybe she should stay. Maybe Aleister Black and KO goes to SmackDown. Can you imagine that? Because now it seems like the feud is Aleister Black and Kevin Owens, and Aleister Black has somehow aligned himself with the Fiend. Imagine instead of getting Braun Strowman back, we have a stable that is the Fiend, Alexa Bliss, and Aleister Black. Oh my God.
Wow, Aleister Black can be like the second in command.
Yeah, and he is just as creepy, just as devastating, and we all know he can go in the ring.
Do you foresee a Bray Wyatt, like a Wyatt family 2.0, something like that? I guess.
Or the Fiend family, or
the Fiend family, it'll be cool.
Firefly Funhouse. And can you imagine Alexa Bliss in the Firefly Funhouse? I think that would be quite funny also.
Her acting is so good, bro. I really believe that she can pull off.
Yeah,
I think Alexa Bliss can be a breakthrough artist. Well, anyway, I wanted to say that what happened to the Walrus? What happened to that Walrus puppet?
Oh, the one that was supposed to be Paul Heyman, is it?
Yeah, it lasted like a week, 2 weeks. Then I never heard about it anymore.
Maybe Paul Heyman got his feelings hurt.
No, I felt like what puppet should have been debuted? They should have debuted Alexa Bliss puppet, like a Barbie doll.
Right.
At least we have continued playing to that, because the Walrus felt like such a random detour.
Because Paul Heyman, right, and his connection to Roman Reigns, who defeated or who took his the Fiend's title, so that makes sense.
It makes sense, if eventually Bray Wyatt comes back to feud with Roman. I feel like Bray Wyatt is really, really smart. He's playing the long game, if you realize, right? He's hinting. He's not straight away, I'm going to faster come back for my title. He's going to slowly build up, you know how all this, like, when you watch those Power Rangers or those, like, Dragon Ball Z episodes, the loser, he need to go back a few episodes, lick his wounds first.
Yeah.
Regenerate.
And then plot. Yeah.
Plot, build up the power, then come back. So perfect.
Well, I hope that that's the case as far as WWE creative is concerned. I feel like right now it's a case of, we have this whole other new idea with Roman Reigns, just to go with that. But it is the Fiend and Alexa Bliss that are trying to throw these hints out, that link, so that people don't forget about the feud with Roman Reigns. That's history.
At the end of the day, I feel like Raw has some sort become the B show, and one of the reasons why it's super obvious is that at the Kevin Owens segment, right?
Yeah.
Basically, the entire segment was them building hype for what's going to happen on SmackDown.
Well, okay.
Right.
To be fair, they have to do that because the draft is coming. They want to boost numbers, you know. And at the end of the day, even though it's a different show and they're supposed to be fighting each other, we all know they are trying to market both shows at the same time. So they'll always promote what's going on the next show.
And this year, the draft is only happening on SmackDown. Am I right?
No. It's SmackDown and Raw.
You didn't mention that.
God, SmackDown and Raw.
SmackDown and it's gonna
finish on Raw.
Cool. But here's the thing: SmackDown starts first, so the starting off point is SmackDown.
Fox what?
I know. That's what I'm trying to say. Like once Fox got into the picture, USA network is like, okay, just this level. Fox is here.
Correct, yeah. So they need to produce the results as well. So they're constantly trying to bump Fox's ratings. So that's probably why, like you said, Finn is probably going to stay on SmackDown and they'll bring the feud to him. So Kevin Owens, maybe Aleister Black coming over to SmackDown. Okay, we're going to talk about the draft in a second. Very quickly though, since it is Thursday for us right now as we record this, anything stood out to you in terms of AEW Dynamite and Jericho 30? Oh, his 30th anniversary. Who does he fight? Luther and freaking Serpentico. Oh.
Well, before we talk about that, your second favorite wrestler in the world just got back his TNT Championship.
Fuck off. Oh my God. Okay, don't even get me started, okay? So, it really feels like, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure there will be a lot of people correcting me. It feels like he's stroking his own ego right now. Like, you know, and I don't know if that's the vibe he's going for. Like, why you built this fucker, this Brodie Lee up? All right, you know, you put the TNT title, let him have a good run. No, I'm back, everybody. I'm back. I have black hair. And he takes the title away from Brodie Lee. Of course, they have to bleed like a motherfucker.
Do you watch that particular match though?
I watched AEW today, yes.
I feel that it's a subtle humble brag of his ego, but he is not ego enough to put it as the main event, which, okay, good. That's good. Because he gave the 30 years of Jericho segment the main event, right?
But I thought that should have been the main event. I thought the show ended on a fart, a wet fart. Like a...
Okay.
You know?
We can move on to talk about Jericho now if you want, I guess. I was very curious about that tease. Okay, I know he used that segment to build up Luther. That one I understand he got some history with him. But the one that was really intriguing was the fact that they were hinting on that dissension with MJF, right?
Yeah.
And then they did a fake out. They did a cop out and then they roll credits. But the initial thing that, you know, when he beat up the clown and all that, I really felt like, I have a feeling, and I think we've talked about this recently, that maybe MJF might try to usurp Jericho, send him into send him to go away for a while, then he becomes the leader of Inner Circle.
Right.
And then Jericho comes back as like the all-conquering baby face,
yeah. So
he
evolves his character again. Wow, in AEW, in 2 years, he's been what? The Painmaker, the Le Champion, Demo God. Walane.
Demo God. He got Floyd. Now he got Floyd. He got a baseball bat.
Okay, I don't know if you remember. I noticed this, by the way, when everyone came out to celebrate with Chris Jericho, right? You notice the two bodyguards were still standing there staring at each other. Wardlow and Jake Hager. Go and rewatch it if you didn't notice it. But everyone was drinking, and then Jake Hager and Wardlow were still standing there staring at each other. I like it though. It was hilarious. It
reminds me of have you watched The Boys? New series on Amazon Prime.
I've heard a lot about it, but I haven't watched it. No. Yeah,
it's a really great show. Check it out. But anyway, I can give you another comparison. It's like two rival gangs who has a common enemy in like the good guy.
Yeah.
Like if you remember Prison Break back in the day, it's like the Latino gang and like the one who's the gay guy. I can't remember his name. T-Bag and Abruzzi, the Italian guy, and then legit his name is T-Bag. That's his nickname. But anyway, okay, so he's this like psycho gay rapist guy that's trying to attack the good guy, which is Schofield. But he has like one gay follower, so that he's his own guy. And then we got a Bruce Lee who's like the king of like the prison, who like runs the prison laundry and have all the people in his back pocket and all that.
Sure.
He's like the mafia guy. But both of them coming together to make a deal so that they all can take out Schofield. They can take out the good guy who's trying to escape prison. So I like that dynamic. I like that, you know, even within heels, there can be distrust.
Okay, yeah.
Them trying to come together, but
But who are they going to combine to fight? You see, like
MJF made a very good promo a couple of weeks ago when he said that everyone has a faction. Everyone has a faction. Maybe it's time I have a faction or I'm part of a faction. And he put himself up for sale. So it's not that. I mean, that will be the next part. Who is he gonna fight, right?
Yeah.
But I think he is doing the method of Bray Wyatt in the sense that he is licking his wounds. He's re-strategizing, and he's gonna make an assault on the world title again. But after he accumulates power, maybe this time around as the leader of a faction.
Right. So, like you said just now, the rumor is that he's gonna basically try to usurp the throne from Chris Jericho, and then now he has, you know, well, he would have to get rid of Wardlow or Jake Hager first, because Jake Hager, you know, seems to be very loyal to Chris Jericho in terms of their character. Actually, all of them do. So I find it very hard for MJF to suddenly become the leader. It would take a lot of storyline explaining.
Like Black Panther lah. Black Panther, Killmonger take over the throne. Right, the ones who are loyal cabut with Chris Jericho, but then some forced to stay, bopian, no choice.
So who would stay? Who would stay?
I would honestly think Sammy Guevara might suddenly want to become more powerful. So he was like, you know what? If you become the leader, I want to be like on your equal ground.
Okay. And then MJF like, you know, bluffs him, say, yeah, you're my equal. And then, you know, that's how he converts him.
Santana Ortiz are just rabid dogs who probably just follow whoever gives them the most appeal. I think Jake Hager will stay loyal, and because Jake Hager is already in a tag team with Chris Jericho. Correct.
So he will be the one that gets ousted lah. So and then you can replace Jake Hager with Wardlow, who we thought was going to start a feud with MJF, but apparently not.
What do you think of all this stop start, or is them just trying to do a lot of foreshadowing?
See, I feel like, okay, it's either they are stop-start and trying to figure out what to do, or they are sort of just teasing a little bit here and there. They are red herrings, you know? They are just there to throw you off so that you think something's happening, but they're throwing you something else. And anyway, since this is a feud that involves Chris Jericho, I don't think it will turn out bad because Chris Jericho, he has the input and he has done this long enough to make it good lah. But what I want to get back to now is the whole TNT title scene. Do you notice that none of us give a flying fuck about Dean Ambrose and his shit title? I know he's facing Lance Archer soon, but who cares?
No, like I said, Dean Ambrose doesn't have a good dance partner right now. And that is really to his debilitation in the sense that his character is growing still. Like I feel like I'm not trying to say that he's on Stone Cold's level, don't get me wrong. I'm trying to say is, what if Stone Cold went to the top but he never had a Vince McMahon? Yeah. It would just have probably been like he would just have been at Moxley's level, you know?
I think Stone Cold would have found somebody to make it work. He would have had an epic feud with The Rock, for example, if there was no McMahon. But I see what you mean. You know, I get what you're trying to say. Who is that authority figure that's holding Jon Moxley down, right?
What was Moxley's best feud in AEW, in your opinion? That in your mind, you remember? I enjoyed that feud.
Yeah.
You don't tell. Legit.
That's the feud. I don't fucking know. I don't like, I've said it many weeks, and the guy came out and whined and bitched and moaned about how WWE didn't treat his character right, made him do stupid shit. I'm like, I look at him now, I'm like, I see very little different from Dean Ambrose. In fact, putting a fucking oxygen mask on him was arguably the most entertaining shit he did to date. Okay, minus the Shield stuff, because I didn't watch the Shield stuff. Okay, minus the Shield stuff, I never watched it. But if you're talking about a Shield, you had Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns in there as well. So yeah, I know those are strong words. Probably get some hate my way, but that's fine. Right now, as Jon Moxley, yes, he's slightly more violent or whatever that means. But Dean Ambrose had the same like character. It's just not as violent because he couldn't be.
When you watch back wrestling, the Shield has broken up. So like Dean Ambrose was on his own as Dean Ambrose, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I remember this. Okay. Here's the thing about Jon Moxley that like I enjoyed in AEW was his first when it's basically his title feud when he won the title from Chris Jericho.
Okay.
Like the entire 3-month program with Jericho, that whole he kena the poke in the eye, kena wear the blindfold, they stole his car, and all these like multiple, whether he joined in a second, all that. That was all really, really entertaining. And I cannot say whether if it was anyone in that role, it would have been just as entertaining. I know a lot of it was Chris Jericho, right? Chris Jericho was the one that set the stakes. That made it like, okay, I want to see what's going to happen. I thought MJF was going to give that same kind of vibe, but I felt like this feud was just one and done and that's it. Like, there wasn't any tension that was built up. So after Chris Jericho, he has just been kind of like stagnant, you know? He's just been... it's really the level of the wrestlers, in my opinion.
Let's go back to what we were talking about. You know, it's Chris Jericho. So now you're the title, you're the champion. You need to do something. You need to make, even if you are fucking wrestling a broom, and you know, you go back to someone like a Stone Cold. I'm sure Stone Cold would have made the broom feud with a broom interesting, right? So Jon Moxley, I feel like he got the title because he's the former WWE guy, or he built
the first to defect.
He built up this huge like following of he brought out everything that was wrong with the WWE creatively. And then and I also bought into it. I was like, yeah, that sounds just about right, But the more I see him as Jon Moxley, I'm like, maybe the WWE weren't wrong. They definitely weren't right. I'm sure they do their fair share of holding people down, quote unquote. But it's like, maybe Jon Moxley isn't as creative / talented that he made himself out to be in those interviews.
Okay.
Yeah.
If one thing I have to admit, this one I have no qualms admitting. Out of all 3 members of the Shield, the one who's really is the star making potential, that main guy really truly was Roman Reigns. Like you see,
okay,
you gave the ball to Seth Rollins, you gave the ball to Seth Rollins, face, heel. He was always, but not the main guy that I want to turn on the TV to watch.
Yeah.
Now you give the ball to Jon Moxley, very divisive. He got his fans, he got people who are sick of him, still doesn't give the main power. But I can't deny Roman Reigns, even at his height of his most hated, or like, I hate this guy, I don't want to see him, right? I always felt like, okay, main event time. Like, okay, whoever Roman is going to be fighting, I want to see what's going on. So, like, maybe that's me admitting that WWE still can spot talent, like really the main guys.
Yeah. No, that is it. You hit the nail on the head 100%. And, okay, when you talk about Seth Rollins, I liken it to Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage. Okay, Hulk Hogan is the main star. He's the marquee guy. But he needs a good dance partner, and that was Macho Man Randy Savage, who was the workhorse. So, and that's what Seth Rollins is. And you give him the role, and I think Seth Rollins is killing it right now in terms of being the Messiah and doing all his nasty things and in ring work as well. That's why when you ask me who really stands out this year, remember I said Seth Rollins, and you're like, really? What?
Yep.
No, I think Loki, he has been the guy that has been elevating other people as well. And he's going to elevate Dominic now.
I believe Seth Rollins, you might agree or disagree, but I'm just using this comparison because I firmly believe when we look back at Seth Rollins' career, that's his legacy. I feel he's a Bret Hart guy.
Yes.
Bret Hart guy in the sense that he is a company man. He's going to build up he's going to be the glue that keeps the company together.
Yeah.
But his reign will always be overshadowed. Yeah.
No, I mean,
or underappreciated.
We've seen wrestlers like that all throughout the history. Macho Man, $1 Million Man, Mr. Perfect. Guys you can depend on. You give them the ball, they will take it high up there. But maybe not. He doesn't have that mainstream X Factor appeal where anyone from the street, you show them his picture, you're like, who is this Jesus-looking fella? But you show them a Roman Reigns, you're like, oh, that guy looks like a badass, Like Roman Reigns has it. And Dean Ambrose has none of that, unfortunately. I hate to say it because, and I try to be as objective as possible because I'm always a fan of Dean Ambrose, right? I never thought he was going to be a main eventer. Like when he won the WWE title, it's like, okay, like it's a short-term thing lah. They're trying to
just a cup of coffee.
Yeah, like okay, we see what you've been doing. We know you're talented, great wrestler. Let's put the title on you for a while and see what happens. And then it was meh. He lost it immediately, right? And then now AEW has given him the title for a long time. Has he elevated? That's my other thing. He hasn't he doesn't have that main event draw, but has he elevated other people? Who?
You know, okay.
Who has he elevated? Not Brian Cage, not Brodie Lee, not freaking who else has he fought? Not MJF. So, you know,
if you want to talk about who he reminds me of, honestly, I think he's like Brian Pillman.
Brian Pillman.
Brian Pillman in the sense that when you look at this guy, like you see his quality, you see his appeal. You see that he has the potential to be this loose cannon that can go all the way to the main event, but then he just never worked out for him.
Well, I mean, like Brian Pillman passed away so we will never know if he could have made it to the main event.
Yes, correct.
Level,
correct. But by the time that happened, his body was really broken down. Like 1997, he was always injured, right? And he was always drinking all drugs. But what even Stone Cold, I think in his documentary said that when he teamed up with Brian. For the Hollywood Blondes in WCW, he learned a lot from Brian. He's felt that he took a lot of the elements of Brian and put him into Stone Cold. Like if it was without, so basically it's like if Chris Benoit never saw Dynamite Kid, he would have never been the Chris Benoit we know today. Correct. If Stone Cold hasn't learned under the learning tree of Brian Pillman, he would have never been Stone Cold today. So I feel like the thing about John Moxley is he's such an unrefined character. He's a bruiser. He's does all this crazy deathmatch shit and that kind of shit, right? He will always be that guy who is like, you look at him, you're like, oh yeah, I can see why he has his appeal, but I don't want him to be my main event guy. I don't want him to be the one that's representing my company in a way.
I agree.
He's just there because he appeals to that specific subsection of the audience of a wrestler, right?
I agree with you 100%.
That's why I think he will do well as a king of a smaller promotion, like a Terry Funk in ECW. You know,
right, but not the leader, quote unquote, the champion of AEW. And the worst part is he rarely shows up. And meanwhile, you have Cody defending the TNT title, which looks more prestigious now, to be honest. You know, every single freaking week, bleeding all over the place.
Looks or like you're talking about in terms of how it's being presented.
No, look. It looks like a toy belt. TNT, But even that one, okay. Do you think that? Let's move on to Cody because we've shat on poor John Moxley enough. Do you think that the whole setup is for Cody to lose to Orange Cassidy? Because let's not forget, Orange Cassidy lost to the Exalted One, Brodie Lee.
You know what would be damn awesome in my mind?
What?
Okay, Cody has this emotional return. He wins back the title. Oh, he's in the top of the moon. You know, like, oh, he's going to be back. TNT title is going to come back, blah, blah, blah. Next week, he loses to Orange Cassidy.
I feel like that is where they're going. I feel like they need to give Orange Cassidy the shine now. And a better way than to beat Cody for it. Because, Cody is the destroyer of everything.
And then Cody is like, he tries to be gracious. He tries to be like, oh, fuck lah. But then you can see his face a bit like, motherfucker. And then the next week, he pretends to like congratulate. You know what? You deserve it. You're the better man.
Yeah.
But then next thing you know, back turn, boom,
heel turn,
living shit. I think Orange Cassidy is the one that can make Cody turn heel.
Okay, sure.
Then I think that'll be interesting.
And not only that, now you get Orange Cassidy feuding with another person who will put him over, who is slightly more experienced in the business, who might make it compelling. Yeah, I see that happening. Meanwhile, Brodie Lee can go fuck off one corner already because not interested anymore.
I haven't given out on MJF as well, bro. Someone made this very cool comparison about MJF. The fact that his heat, bro, he has Chris Jericho heat or Roddy Piper heat in the sense that you hate this fella, but you still want to see him on your TV screen every week to see what's going to happen to him.
Yeah, you want to see him get beat up lah. Get his comeuppance.
Yeah, like you don't deny how talented, how great he is on the mic, blah blah. But then Brodie Lee, someone made this super funny comparison, and I laugh when someone said it.
Okay.
Brodie Lee has JBL heat, has Baron Corbin heat.
No.
Do you agree?
I disagree because Baron Corbin hit, JBL hit is also like, oh, you hate them, but you also want to see like a Rey Mysterio or somebody beat them. I wouldn't even call it X-Pac heat. He doesn't have any heat. I feel like Brodie Lee is like, oh, he's here. I don't care. He beat up somebody. It's like, I don't care heat, which is the worst heat, which is no heat. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Not even JBL, because JBL was such a dick. You wanted to see him get beat by a Ray, by whoever he was feuding with, you know?
Baron Corbin heat. I'm thinking to myself, Baron Corbin has a heat that is described about him.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not even X-Pac. X-Pac is go away heat, right?
Yeah.
But no, man, Brodie Lee he needs to do something else. This whole exalted one is not working for him.
Yeah. But other than that, like I said, the ones that I want to succeed are the usual suspects. I really want Kenny Omega to be that main guy. Still, I want Adam Page to have that breakout year soon. And Orange Cassidy also another great one, another talented guy. So
did you enjoy his commentary? I mean, his interview when they were setting up the tournament and he was in the tournament and he kept going on about, even like, tag team wrestlers like Hangman Page want to be in the tournament. So he's like very subtly, well, not so subtly because he brought up Hangman Page several times, but I see what he's doing. Like he's trying to like swan Hangman Page.
They're talking about the tournament for which title?
The number one contender for the AEW main title. So they interviewed Kenny Omega and he's going on about, this is going to be a great tournament. Like every tournament I enter, I will win. He's obviously talking about like his New Japan stuff, right?
New Japan,
and he even made, because they just announced, Hangman Page is going to be in the tournament. So then he purposely slid in a line like, even tag team wrestlers like Adam Page are interested in the tournament. And he's like trying to subtly say that, he's a tag team wrestler. He's not a singles wrestler. So this is obviously to set up the feud. And I wouldn't be surprised if the finals of the tournament were Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page. That would make the most sense.
Yep, I agree. And like I said, whoever wins will feud with Moxley, but then the first person coming out right after will be either one of Adam Page or Omega.
I hope it is Omega. I hope Omega takes the title away from Moxley because we all know that heel sweeper Omega is the man who should be holding the title. We need a heel so that he can eventually build Hangman Page up so that when Hangman wins the title, at least it'll be like, finally he took it away from that heel Omega. So that to me should be the way. Yeah.
I still believe, bro, like that AEW is still in the midst of going through their plans. Like their plans of succession is being carried out. Because first champion Chris Jericho get the mainstream attention, get everyone to know about AEW.
Yeah.
Second guy is the second most recognizable guy in John Moxley. He has the whole WWE audience. Some of them, wanting to see him succeed because of how he was treated in WWE. And then I think third was always going to be Kenny Omega because Kenny Omega already said in numerous interviews the first year he wanted to do his best to establish other divisions in AEW, build up, the tag team, and also basically do his part as like the EVP to help other wrestlers.
Hold on.
And then become the main cleaner guy.
Wasn't he going to build out the women's division?
I purposely didn't mention the women's division because I think he done a shitty job at that. But yes, that was his intention lah.
You give him face, very good, very good.
Yeah. But I feel like Act 4 after Kenny Omega is to have the future of AEW now, which is either MJF or Hangman Page.
I think MJF, you can wait. MJF has way too much potential to, put him to the top now. MJF can go and do his thing with Chris Jericho. And if anything, it's like a passing of the torch from Chris Jericho to MJF, if you think about it. If MJF somehow is the guy, maybe they do a retirement match or something like that. It gets, their feud boils to such a high level where it's like, Chris Jericho will eventually pass the torch over to MJF. I just hope.
Imagine if. I don't think MJF will be the one that retires Chris Jericho.
No?
Only because, bro, I want someone from the inner circle to be the one to do that. Because I feel like then the whole point of inner circle is to build up your own inner circle brethren. Then you give someone else the chance to end your career. Doesn't make sense. I think Sammy Guevara is the guy.
Oh, Sammy is too young. He's way too young, I think. I think MJF should be in line first. But anyway, it's as long as new stars are built, Chris Jericho's job is done. I just hope that they don't, quote unquote, he doesn't job himself off too often.
You said something very interesting because you said Sammy Guevara is way too young, right?
Yeah.
But Sammy Guevara is actually 4 years older than MJF.
Oh, is it? He still has boy face.
Yeah, MJF is 23, which I think is crazy.
Yeah,
he's like Pete Dunne's age. Yeah, but yeah, I completely understand. Like he looks like he looks like basically how Randy Orton looked when he was 23. Like Randy Orton looked like he was already ready for the big time.
Correct.
Even at the age.
Yeah. What else happened? Oh, the dog collar match itself. Did you enjoy the bloody affair that it was? Because it's a Cody match, you know. He's
I did enjoy that it was brutal. I like how that they just used the dog collar because I am a fan of all those Texas bull rope matches. I remember the first match that I watched was Eddie Guerrero and JBL. And it was brutal. It has this very. A lot of people say it has a very Southern territory feel to it. You know, this kind of matches, Dusty Road specials. So I can appreciate it for what it is.
And they kept harping on the fact that, you know, it's not like a bull rope match where you're tied around the wrist. This one's tied around the neck. You know, there's a weight along on the neck.
Yeah.
So the commentary team, I think, did their best to make this match as deadly, sound as deadly and crazy as possible without, like, you know, the visual of a cage or anything like that. I thought it should have been a main event because, you know, it was such a... I get it was Jericho 30 as well. Maybe they shouldn't have done both at the same time. But whatever. It happened and...
Don't you think that the Jericho thing should have been more of like a once the camera stopped rolling kind of thing?
No lah. You need to get it on the show. No, but yeah. I feel like it should have been in the middle of the card. It didn't end in a bang. It didn't end like, you know, on a high. It's like, oh, everybody come out. Okay, yay. They roll the funny credits where Chris Jericho is everybody, everything. Like he does the camera work. He's the producer.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite cute, you know, but then after that, just like they fade out. Like, no kick at the end. Whereas the ending of the TNT title match where, you know, Orange Cassidy, apparently if you want to get a title match, a TNT title match, all you need to do is stand at Gorilla. Because the second somebody says, I want to fight somebody, you just walk out. So first person to walk out gets the fucking title match. You don't need to do anything else. Just be the first person to walk out. So everyone should be waiting at Gorilla.
Okay, Young, let's do it.
For free title matches, just wait at Gorilla. Like what? Okay, that logic aside, that was a cool moment. You know, the crowd popped. You know, it's Orange Cassidy. This is going to be an awesome match, blah, blah, blah. That should have been the finish. Okay. Let's wrap up AEW, but I must bring this up because I messaged you. This is the first thing I messaged you about AEW Dynamite. Freaking JR. They had Ricky Starks on commentary with Taz, right?
Oh my God, I know what you're talking about,
It was going to be Brian Cage, the FTW champion, versus Will Hobbs. Apparently, the FTW championship is a belt that they defend. What a waste of time. Anyway, and Brian Cage is a waste of time. Anyway, I like Will Hobbs and what they're trying to do here. I think there's a story to be told there. But JR is like, oh, and with us is, it's Taz and Ricky Scabs. I was like, what the fuck? Ricky Scabs.
that was legit him sleeping out, right?
Yeah.
That was definitely a Botchamania moment.
It was so cringe. And everyone, you said it in the text, you're like, everyone looks so awkward. Like,
Yeah. I was thinking like, did he say it just to annoy Ricky Stark, like purposely try to ignore his name? But then I saw everyone trying to scramble around, like Tony Schiavone, like Tess wanted to like, hey, bodo or what? It's Starks lah. Try to correct him, but try to still be respectful. And then you look at JR, right? He immediately shut up.
Because
he immediately after that was like, Yeah.
Ricky
Man.
Scabs. Maybe they should just spin it off and that could be a thing. And people start calling him Ricky Scabs. Ricky Scabs. That could be a gimmick. I don't know.
Yeah.
But okay, the worst part about that is they had Ricky Scabs out there on commentary. And I hate it when they bring out wrestlers for commentary and they literally have 1 or 2 lines and they sound completely uninterested, like they're not interested in the match. Oh yeah, that's yeah. Like, like fuck.
Why does he sound like some local wrestler that I've heard of? I don't know what.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, right? His manager is the commentator, is Taz. So let Taz say everything lah. Why he put him?
Ricky doesn't even have to be there. Yeah, Ricky doesn't have to be there.
No, he could be there in the corner. He could be there just standing next to Taz, looking menacing. But no, he had to like, yeah, I think so too. Like the fuck, make him sound dumb.
It's tough lah watching commentary. Like you know, every time I'm a kind of guy, bro. I'm the kind of guy that will randomly look at Instagram's posts of like classic Attitude Era stuff. Like randomly go on YouTube and look like The Rock's best promos, the best Attitude Era segment, best chance, best pop, funniest JR reactions on commentary, you know, those kind of shit. Yeah, so like when I see all of that, right, and then suddenly I listen to Dynamite. It's not the same guy, man. It's not like he's the crazy old guy already. And he needs to be treated as such. You know, when like Gordon Solly was on commentary, like he's just treated as the elder statesman, but someone else needs to take the lead. He shouldn't be the main guy. He should be the color. Tony Schiavone still has that oomph, you know, when he talks.
He
rather
can
be the main guy.
Yeah, and then you have Excalibur to call all the indie crap and Ricky Scabs. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on from that.
Yeah, it's tough lah. It's tough.
Okay,
how long have you been running? How long have you been running already?
It's 5:20 already. So it's about 2 hours.
It's almost 2 hours.
Oh my god. Okay.
Holy shit. Yeah, we've been talking about shit. Let's wrap it up.
Lots of wrestling. So, okay, the draft is coming. Let's take a look at some of the responses we've gotten on Insta stories, right? So we asked the question, okay, who is in desperate need of a brand switch, right? Who needs a brand switch right now? Muhammad Daniel, what's up, man? You say Sheamus needs to go to Raw and fight with Drew. Ooh, I like that.
I think he probably watched the documentary. I think probably watch a 24 documentary.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of history there. Yeah.
Right. The Shadow says Vince to be drafted from active to retired. I see.
I love it. Yes, The Shadow. I agree. I agree.
Kelmon, the Elmon says Eva Marie. What? Has she been rumored to come back?
From what?
Yeah.
Drafted from not coming back to coming back?
Yeah. Oh, speaking of coming back, Carmella, her promo and everything was a little bit underwhelming. She's blonde hair. She's like, oh, I'm not your princess anymore. I'm like, okay, whatever.
I prefer her old gimmick. Yeah. It's terrible.
Props, the Rob says Chris Jericho needs the brand switch back to WWE. Oh, he's having too much fun in AEW. I don't think he'll come back. Yeah. Actually, you know, when you look at the brand draft, right? I think I already said who I think desperately needs a brand switch right now. And that person is Braun Strowman. He needs to come over to Raw and start something because he right now is completely lost in the shuffle as far as SmackDown is concerned. You know, he's not only out of the main event picture, he's nowhere. So if Raw Underground was the catalyst for him to come to Raw, let him get drafted to Raw. Him and Keith Lee are going to tear the house down and probably Thunderdome down.
Yeah. For me personally, I already mentioned to you who I would prefer to go to SmackDown. Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins need to give way, let Mustafa Ali be the guy. Bring the whole drama of the Mysterio family to SmackDown for all I care. But
then you would then for that to happen, you would need Seth, Ray, Dom, Murphy, Humberto Carrillo to all go to SmackDown.
Or they can have finally pay off this fucking feud that's been running for months at a time.
No.
By having Murphy versus Rollins lah.
No. Bro, this feud can go all the way to the end of the year. Like I said, this telenovela has legs, man. Come on, we need to get Humberto Carrillo in there, blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
Okay. Got it. But this is my choice.
Oh,
It's my choice of the draft.
I don't agree, bro. I don't agree. Okay. Aleister Black needs to go to SmackDown and join the Fiend and feud against Kevin Owens. Needs to go to SmackDown because he's not doing jack all on Raw. NXT. What about NXT? Okay, we mentioned earlier Garganos, both Candice LeRae and Johnny, to come to the main roster. I would stay on Raw because Raw needs more talent to make things interesting because Raw is a 3-hour show.
I kind of want Ciampa to go on the main roster. Actually, I really thought. Remember, I mentioned to you I would have liked Ciampa to have been the leader of Retribution. Yeah. But since now that's not happening, but I still want him to go on the main roster. But it just depends on the right story,
Retribution. What if they get drafted as a unit to SmackDown?
Nah, ain't happening, man. Ain't happening.
Not. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
There are certain storylines that are set in stone that need to stay right now. And
that needs to has a payoff.
Yeah. Okay. Why wasn't Cedric Alexander on Raw? Do you know?
I think he's on COVID watch.
Oh, okay,
isolated.
Okay. Right. So Her Business is another group. Like, I don't know. Can they get drafted as a group?
I don't know, but I don't know. I don't want them because I really feel that their vibe fits Raw.
Yeah.
Especially if Raw Underground is still going to happen. I'm
still
holding out hope that they will start to own Raw Underground. That's
Def Jam.
Yeah,
but that limits us to the very obvious picks like Braun Strowman, like Kevin Owens, like Aleister Black that we've said. Those are the very obvious ones because they've been crossing over so much and, building a feud. So there will be...
Yeah. I mean, sometimes obvious is good, man. Like, I don't want it be a random one, but it completely throws like a spanner in the works of current storyline.
So
that will annoy me.
What big name guy is, are they going to throw over? Like Drew? Are they going to swap Drew and Roman Reigns? Is the whole Roman Reigns and Jey Uso thing over?
No. You know what I wouldn't mind seeing? If Drew beats Randy, then after that Randy goes to SmackDown. And then when Edge comes back, it's on SmackDown.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but one title needs to switch. So Bobby Lashley is the US champ.
Not necessarily, because I was thinking like if Randy goes to SmackDown, right? But they still have the Hell in a Cell match. So basically, if Randy wins, the WWE titles goes to SmackDown, right? Then obviously Drew is the one that still comes out as the winner, lah. So it's like the tease is of the potentially the title changing to SmackDown, but because Drew retained the title, they go their separate ways, lah. Then it definitively ends the feud.
Okay,
in my opinion.
Yeah, and let's not forget we have Hell in a Cell looming, and surprisingly, it is Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns again. This time, is it did they announce it as Hell in a Cell? Or because Roman Reigns was being very cryptic, right? He was like, "Oh, this will have dire consequences," blah blah blah. So I'm assuming it's Hell in a Cell because now we have 2 title matches in Hell in a Cell. Where does that leave Bayley and Sasha Banks? Are they gonna have 3 Hell in a Cell?
They are gonna have a Hell in a Cell match. It's already been confirmed that Bayley and Sasha are gonna have a Hell in a Cell match.
So that's 3 Hell in a Cell matches.
The third one is who? Drew and Randy, right?
Drew and Randy. That one is confirmed. They've shown the graphics. The one I'm not so sure is Uso Jey versus Roman Reigns because they just said dire consequences, so we assume it's Hell in a Cell. But did they confirm it?
Hasn't been made official. That one. The one that's been made official is Sasha Bayley.
Oh, really?
Drew, Randy and Drew.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Sasha already announced that she wants her at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah lah, but in Hell in a Cell or at Hell in a Cell, 2 different things.
Well, if you want an official reason, that's what she said. But if you want a dirt sheet reason, that match is actually slated to be the main event of Hell in a Cell.
What? Wow.
Sasha and Bayley, yeah.
Okay.
So that's how big they're gonna put it up to. So, they deserve it. Like out of all the feuds that deserve to be Hell in a Cell, it needs to be Sasha and Bayley.
So maybe Roman versus Jey is not a Hell in a Cell. Maybe he just meant dire consequences. Like if you lose, you're out of the family.
The name kena stricken off the wheel.
Yeah, you are gone. You're no longer Anwai.
Oh yo, yeah. I mean the feud still has legs. I mean, like I said, Roman is hands down the most compelling thing on WWE right now.
Yeah,
WWE TV.
Yeah, beyond Usos though, who is he gonna feud next family wise? Nobody, right? So once he's done with the Jey Uso feud, technically he could go over the Raw and start dominating. That's why I think the main event title actually could see a switch?
I'm not against it. Even though I still want the Roman and Wyatt thing to happen lah. So if they can still make it work after that, then
bro,
I don't know.
We all know that at some point there will be a cross-brand invitational freaking wildcard rule. That was what we forgot.
Yes.
Wildcard rule. You know this shit will come out again. Wildcard rule.
Oh my god!
And then as we get to Survivor Series, you know, people will cross-brand to fight anyway. So they will write themselves out of anything they want. Okay,
God, it's terrible, man.
It will happen, so we don't have to worry too much. It's just a gimmick at the end of the day. This draft just to boost ratings. Before we wrap up, okay, and I know we've gone on for a long time. What to you is a memorable draft pick that shocked you? I think a lot of the times it's when a wrestler who has been so associated with one brand switches brands. That's usually a shocker. But do you remember the one where I think at the start of the night, John Cena got drafted to SmackDown, but then at the end of the night, he got drafted back to Raw?
I remember that one as well. I remember that one. But I think that was like 2009 or 2011.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to choose my pick, because like my most memorable one was the 2005 Royal draft where Cena and Batista were initially the faces of Raw and SmackDown, but then they switched over.
Correct.
I think that really skyrocketed John Cena to the next level. And obviously Batista had amazing feuds with Undertaker after that. You know, so I think it really boosted both their careers. That was very memorable for me, and not just that level. Those first picks, you know, there was like picks like Chris Benoit going back to SmackDown, Randy Orton going to SmackDown, Kurt Angle going to Raw. There was a lot of like really blockbuster moves there, man. It was a really good year, like in terms of a draft pick. It felt like it made a lot of sense.
Right. Well, I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Hopefully, there will be some shockers, and But moving forward, okay, looking at the two shows, AEW and WWE, can you agree that WWE is putting out more entertainment, more sports entertainment? I am sports entertained by WWE more so than AEW.
Yep. Hands down. And this is saying as a guy who supports AEW and want them to succeed. Like, currently, I'm not interested in watching their product. I don't think any of us are anti AEW. You know what I mean? It's just we are just calling it as we see it. Like AEW's product right now has a lot of holes. You know, there's the good stuff that we see with Chris Jericho, and I guess some can argue Cody. I wouldn't argue that, nor Jon Moxley. But the reason that WWE stepped up so hard is because they also want to go and compete and fight with AEW. So it's good for the business. It's crazy to think that they could be in worse shape right now if AEW doesn't exist. They could be phoning it in, you know.
With garbage feuds. Oh, talking about just garbage. Well, I shouldn't say garbage lah. I literally watched like the first half an hour of the TNA, the Impact pay-per-view recently. I forgot.
Which one? Bound for Glory?
I think so. No.
Is it Bound for Glory?
I can't remember. It was so not memorable. I forgot what the name was. But they had like the whole empty arena. Wow, the vibe was just horrible, bro. I couldn't watch it. And to think that was what it was at WrestleMania.
What were you watching? As in, like, you randomly found it online, or?
Yeah. I randomly found it online. So I'm like, okay, let's just see what's up, like, because I was bored, right? Just to have it in the background while I was doing work. And then as the thing started, I was like, this is just crap. Like,
was there like
Eric Young was the champion? Eric Young
is the main champion.
Yeah, and then they had a fatal 4-way tag team match, but only one member of each team was in the match. So I was like, what? Okay, this sounds like bullshit to me.
Was Carl Anderson and what do you call it?
Carl Anderson was one of the members in that match. And then the commentators were Josh Matthews and a lady who was terrible.
Okay.
They just had zero chemistry. So
that
after a while,
doesn't interest me.
It did not interest me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, too bad, Impact.
No Impact.
Not missing out on anything, man. No worries, man. WWE or AEW.
WWE and AEW are like here. Impact is like so. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching and listening to the episode. It's been a long one, but as always, we have a lot of things to say about wrestling, and we thank you for joining us on the show. Okay, as we release this on a Friday, you're watching it, listening to it on a Friday, right? Don't forget the world premiere of the music video of Blue Tick.
Yeah, bro.
Is that the sign?
Yeah.
Blue Tick?
I don't know whether it's the correct site, but yes, Blue Tick.
Because it's usually 2 ticks also, right? Blue tick. How you do it?
I should have done that in music video.
Yeah, make like a sign then like blue tick. Like people hashtag like.
Oh my god, I should have done that, bro. Good idea, bro. I can see. Okay, blue tick challenge.
Blue.
Oh my god, this is okay.
But the music video to Blue Tick by Foreign in the Building, as well as Charles Nero. Is that his stage name? Charles Nero?
Charles Inero, yeah.
Charles
his stage
Inero. Okay.
Inero, yeah.
Yeah, go check it out, man.
Check it out, man. Check it out. Oh my god, thanks so much for the plug. I can't wait, man.
Hell yeah.
You know what's my dream for making music, bro?
What's that?
In the next year, I promise you, I am going to do an entrance theme song for one of our wrestlers, our local wrestlers. Hey, you gotta make that happen, man.
Make it for yourself, lah, bro. You a wrestler, bro. Remember?
Hey, no.
Marina Bay Slam.
No. you gotta give credit to the real wrestlers out there.
Okay.
Legit ones.
Yeah,
the day ones.
Yeah, write some sick ass rap that they can walk out to.
Lady Kayla already commented on my post when I dropped the freestyle. He was saying, "Make a song for me, there."
There you go. You already have a guy. So anyway, remember to check out the Blue Tick music video, and of course, go and stream the song. It's on Spotify.
Yes.
Where else can people find it, bro?
Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, wherever you listen to your music, bro. Hopefully, it's gonna be on radio. Gonna try my best to get it on our local radio stations.
Yeah.
If you enjoy wrestling and Kick to the Gut, please support my own music stuff as well, man.
Absolutely. So there you go. Check out his stuff. Check out my stuff, Mr. Young 98 on Twitch when I stream video games. On Twitch and on Facebook as well. I'm trying to grow that community too. And it's a totally different thing, man. I'm learning so many things. I'm having so much fun playing video games and talking to people. So come join me then. In the meantime, though, we will be back again next week for more wrestling talk. And as always, slide into our DM, say hi to us on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. Hey, jump on the comment section if you agree or vehemently disagree with Mr. Young and his shitty views about Jon Moxley.
Yeah, correct.
It's fine.
So
man.
yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Oh yeah, 2 more episodes till episode 100.
Ooh, we got a special 100th episode lined up. I can't wait for that. But in the meantime, Mr. Young.
And it's for in the building. Take care.
No, it's Tick Care. Blue Tick Care.
Blue Tick Care.
Make yourself famous. Meeting the immovable object.